Hey, hey, everybody. We are live and we're ready to get this show started. Cool. I'm just going to wait until it shows up on my end. There we go. Okay. I want to make sure that's muted.
Yeah,
I don't need that coming on in. So, hello, everybody, as you guys are coming on in. I planned on having more people on.
Sorry, folks.
Yeah, but everybody else is a little bit busy. But I figured we would do a chill stream for a little bit. I'll talk about some Transformers news. I'll talk about some He-Man news. I'm sure all you guys have seen the Masters of the Universe Revelation trailer. If you guys have been seeing in the chat, Lyle Convoy Reviews did a amazing breakdown on things that, as much as I enjoyed the trailer, I enjoyed the trailer, and but we'll get into that. But I figure I'll just, take some time to say what's up to folks. And, I figure have Deluxe to kind of bounce some ideas off of while we're talking.
Yeah.
Not only that, you can kind of see some of the what's going on in the chat. Because sometimes I miss stuff, I'll miss stuff. And if something sounds good that you want to talk about, I can bring it in. Proto Man I actually was working on a couple of things yesterday. I was working on painting, and I was working on a script for my next Transformers video. And I saw Proto Man was on, and he had the Rodimus Prime that I use on my the old one, the old
your old picture.
What's that?
Your old picture or
the old picture that I've been using, right? The Rodimus Prime.
Stylized. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I saw Proto Man's face next to that, and he's like, "Oh, I'm doing a live stream tonight." And I go, "Is he to talk about me or something? What's going on with this?" So I tuned in, and it was so I sat there and listened to his stream. I kind of was trying to talk in the chat and while I was working on stuff, and but I see all you guys coming in: Decade, Raziel, Proto Master. Proto Man is that's his moniker. He's the guy who has the Slag podcast. So he has a really old podcast, and he actually goes to all of the TF cons. So we'll end up seeing him there, since we're all going to TF Con in Baltimore. Those of you guys who don't know, how's it going there, Uncle Brian? Watching your top 10, yeah. Transformers and Thundercats, a perfect crossover.
Yeah. The Transformers, Thundercats. I don't know about that. Transformers and G.I. Joe. That's a great crossover.
Transformers and what?
G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe and Transformers have been.
Yeah, I mean the comics and stuff, but I don't know if Thundercats would be a good crossover of Transformers. They might. I mean, Marvel's done it. They've done it with.
Sounds like a plan, Lyle.
They've done a lot of stuff and everything. So I mean, I guess Thundercats and Transformers might be a
Transformers and Avengers have already done a crossover, and people didn't like it.
Yeah, it was like a 4-series comic thing.
It was set in the IDW comics.
Yeah, it wasn't that good. I think they did Star Trek. Have they done Ghost? Have they done Back to the Future? They're doing now with that. So I mean, Thundercats could work. I never was a big Thundercats fan when I was a kid. I never really cared for Thundercats.
I loved it. I mean, I recorded the Thundercats movie, which I think was the opener for season 2.
Oh, was it? Okay.
I could be wrong. I don't remember specifically. Lyle Convoy is the apparently the walking in Thundercats encyclopedia. So
he says it wouldn't work either. Really work that way.
Yeah, he doesn't think it would work either. I agree with him. I don't think it would work.
I don't know if it would either.
I mean, a toy crossover, yeah, sure. You could do a transforming Thunder Tank that transforms into a robot.
Okay, yeah,
that would be kind of cool.
But comic-wise,
yeah.
It'd probably be like a Marvel thing. It'd be like a Marvel, almost of the Marvel thing going on.
Right. And the same thing with Masters of the Universe. I don't think Masters of the Universe could really cross over with Transformers very well.
Yeah.
Yep. Thundercats Ho was the 5-part season 2 intro. Yep.
Mm.
Yeah, I remember soon everybody into the Thundercats movie.
Sunday. Oh, I missed that. The Bigfoot and some coming Sunday.
The music of all the shows that we watched as kids.
Oh man.
Was like it drew you in like nothing else.
Yeah.
Like everything from Thundercats to He-Man, Transformers, G.I. Joe,
Mask.
I know when you hear the
when you hear, right now, if you hear something on there, you're like, it just brings you back. Like if I heard Mask, if I heard the like that, and that shows the Boulder City, whatever, the Boulder Hill, and it's just like, oh man, it just brings you back, man. The music back then, just if you hear it, you automatically know. I remember that cartoon. It
goes right in, it goes like it gets you stuck in your head. Actually, I will say this specifically, the Masters of the Universe Revelation trailer used that song I Need a Hero.
Yeah.
And
Footloose.
I'm telling you, it has been stuck in my head since Thursday.
Yeah.
I've been trying to try to get other tunes in my head, like the Autobot tune or other music. My wife and I watched the trailer, and her and I have been going back and forth with that same song.
Dude, when I hear that song, like I just said, I remember Footloose because it was in the Footloose movie.
Yeah.
And so that's when I heard it. But I thought it was a good song to use for the He-Man thing. I think that was really clever. But every time I hear it, I think Footloose for some reason.
Okay.
Because it was in there. So yeah, it's a good song. It's a good song too.
It's perfect He-Man. For the 80s thing.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Voltron's intro and formation music. Yeah, form, feet, and legs. Speaking of which, I talked about this. Like the Voltron on Netflix was not what's it called? They didn't even say it. They didn't say form, feet, and legs.
No.
Form arms and body, and I'll form the head. I was waiting for that.
You're disappointed. You're like, okay.
Well, they just kind of just went up in the air and went and that's the thing. I loved Go Lion because Go Lion was violent, and I mean violent. But Voltron was very neutered. But the music in Voltron was better than Go Lion.
Yeah.
So it's why a lot of people, anytime I ever see a fan dub of Headmasters, the fourth season of G1, the Japanese version, they always try to use the what's it called? They always try to use the G1 seasons 1 through 3 music as background instead.
Oh, okay.
And I understand why they do that because they're trying to make it feel like,
Hey, Digital Caveman, I love some Kevin Bacon. Come on now.
Kevin Bacon.
Everything ties to Kevin Bacon. So.
Yeah, 6 degrees of separation.
Yep.
I do want to show off a few things while I'm here. So
nice.
I'm going to show off. I have my customized Blue Streak.
Nice.
That I am naming him Silver Streak.
Okay.
Because actually, I'm going to try to see if I can brighten him up because getting too close to the camera, he gets blurry.
Yeah, blurs out.
But he's looking good, and I've done some touch up on the paint on spots because it scratched during the first time I transformed it, and I just took photos right after the first transformation. So I've named him Silver Streak to go with the silver on his chest. Yeah, I think that's a suitable name. To give him a backstory, I would give Silver Streak the backstory that he is the stoic warrior who uses mirror powers through the silver streak on his chest. And that is why he's called Silver Streak. Okay. But he's blue, and everybody he hates the fact that people confuse him with Blue Streak. And they say you should have been called Blue Streak, and he hates that. He hates it. So that's his unofficial bio as I have made it, and it's my own fan canon for him.
Nice.
Next on the list, is my
Yeah, you've been showing us pictures of him. That's looking good, man.
yeah, I'll show this next one, but thank you for the super chat, Lyle. I'm starting the video walking you through to use that airbrush I sent you while making a custom Negaduck. Cool. Yeah, I have to get like a compressor or something like that for that, because Lyle Convoy actually sent me a what's it called? An airbrush, and I don't have a compressor for it, so I have to figure out what to do, how to use it.
I have to go sub to Larkin and watch his stuff. I guess I'm not sub to him, I don't think. So I'm going to go sub to his stuff. And watch
he here's the thing is if he dives into either the fandom stuff or he talks about other stuff, and you may not like all of his content. So I'm being honest.
I give everybody a try, man. You gotta support everybody, man. You gotta support people.
Of course. And
that was good, man. That Ultra Magnus looks really good.
This is my Ultra Magnus, and you saw the picture on our private chat, but
yep, you've been updating.
I painted the sides here, and so I got the white on there. I have Autobot symbols like where they're supposed to be. I can't transform him yet, and I painted the bumper red.
Okay.
And I gave him a black, square there. And the other thing is, the knobs on the top were blue. I don't know why they did that. Painted those white.
Who knows?
And then I painted the whole chest area. I actually pulled the pin out and then painted that. And I painted it all one color, like a dark red mix. And then I got 2 white stickers to put like on here, so it stays true to the animation model.
Okay.
Other thing I want to show off on him is I painted I don't know if you can see it, but I painted the windshield wipers.
Windshield wipers, okay.
Yep.
Is that black or blue?
I used a gunmetal.
Okay, gunmetal.
So it somewhat matches, but doesn't, but it works. Because I painted the whole bar. I didn't paint the horizontal bar, but just the diagonal one. So that came out pretty good. And you notice that I painted the blue on the sides, so that it really makes them look, fantastic. I also took apart the head. It's a screwdriver on the back of the head.
Oh yeah.
So once you take the screwdriver out, take the screw out,
splits up probably.
The head actually disassembles. So you can't get it off the ball joint unless you take the screw out.
Okay.
And then I stripped the paint of his face, and I actually painted his face a flat aluminum.
Okay.
Because the dark gray is nasty. I hated that dark gray.
Yeah. Are you gonna get the filler kit for it?
I want to get the filler kit for it, but I have some other stuff that I'm waiting for it to come in, and I got to wait for a little bit more money to come in before I can I can work on it. I'll add to that super chat, and I'll use that money to go towards my my customs and fixes fund.
Yeah, definitely, because you need the filler for the smokestacks, definitely, because that's I don't know why Hasbro won't fill that in.
Yeah, because that's something that needed it. But then I wanted to show these two off because these are not my Transformers. So I have here first one. Someone actually is in the chat. And he's one of my supporters, and I really appreciate it. But he sent to me because he's seen me do a lot of custom work. He wanted me to do Shattered Glass Ratchet.
Oh, nice.
This is the BotCon 2016 Ratchet that he sent me.
Okay.
And, fully transforms and all that. So, but it was a blank slate. So I was able to paint it pretty easy. Because this is the way that it actually comes for, like if you went to BotCon 2016, which I didn't, you would, and you didn't do the custom class, this.
Oh, that was a custom. Oh, okay.
This is the custom class figure.
Gotcha.
So you could have painted him up as Shattered Glass Ratchet, or you could have done there was 4 choices that you can do. And so he sent me 2 of them. The other thing he sent me was a Combiner Wars First Aid, because the other BotCon 2016 thing to do was Medics. And Medics was he was a little bit different colors, but he was kind of done out of the same exact body, but with a first aid head. So in order to actually do this, I had to take apart this ratchet literally, first aid into pieces, completely into pieces, including using a pin remover and getting it out, cutting my fingers open. And I got a donor Combiner Wars Ironhide for parts.
Okay.
So I put the Combiner Wars Ironhide back together, and I think I'm going to get the Toy Hacks labels for Smolder to make him a different character. But I ended up using a lot of those pieces, a lot of paint, and I made medics out of.
I love the green. I love the green on them.
Yeah, and the labels here with the zigzag and all that.
Yeah,
so,
I like
and
that.
I'm waiting for I'm waiting for the paint to cure on him, on both of them actually, because I have Mod Podge, and I want to get the parts that are very, very what's the word I'm looking for? Could scrape during transformation. And I want to, or that if you're playing with like on the head, since I fully painted the head, that white faceplate, and I use Tester's paint, so I'm waiting for the paint to cure fully. And you can see his back there. I don't know if you can see the Autobot symbol there. It's kind of hard to see.
Yep.
But okay.
You actually make a Combiner War figure look good.
Yeah. And with the green and all that, he just
I like that green and red. This
is actually a green mix. Yeah. I mixed Tester's Sublime Green.
Okay.
Which is actually the same paint that I used on my Siege Springer to get rid of the battle damage on his chest. And then Beret Green. Okay. And I mixed the two, just a little bit of like I would say 2 parts Sublime Green, 1 part what's it called? The Beret Green, because Beret Green is like a dark forest green. Okay. And I mixed that in, and that made this wonderful green.
Yeah, it looks like a lighter green.
Yeah. But this is the last of it. So like I can make more, but I used the last of it. Like the last coat that I did of green on him was the last of that mix.
Okay. What's the windows? The windows are light blue, kind of?
The windows are a light blue. They should have been black, but I really hated it on him. He's an Autobot. And so like I made sure that he has like this really awesome, like I actually painted the same orange here to use, because the stickers.
Okay, that's orange.
The stickers were supposed to be a dark orange, like a pale orange. Yeah. But the paint tells you to use a brighter orange according to the guide. So I said, you know what? I'm going to make it the same color for his chest as it is for his head and all that. So this is the Protectobot Medics. Yeah. And he just looks good. And like I said, I just have to wait for the paint to dry on him. Like he's dry, but it's got a cure, because I fully assembled it, and now he's looking good. I really think he's looking good. And
I like the color.
there are some like scrape parts from like the masking didn't come out as good as I wanted it to, and I've done as best as I can for cleanup, but I think he came out good.
Yeah, it looks good. I thought it was actually a light red, but now, because it's just your camera, it's just showing off as a light red. But now I can kind of see. So the tires are more orange. I can see it, but the light bar and the back on the back of the feet or legs kind of looks like a light red. Yeah,
well, it's
just the camera.
The same orange, and I actually used one of my Autobot symbols over the orange.
Okay. Yeah.
So
looks good. Looks really good.
Rico Red Star asks Alan Oppenheimer at RetroCon. I am definitely going to RetroCon this year. RetroCon is in September in Pennsylvania. I absolutely intend to go. Thank you very much for the super chat, by the way, Rico. I absolutely intend to go to to RetroCon. I'm very excited about that one, just as much as I am TFCon. Like TFCon, we're all going.
Oh yeah,
but
that's gonna be fun.
But they're both within an hour and a half drive of my house.
Oh, that's not bad at all. That's not bad at all.
So like RetroCon is an hour and a half drive west, because I live on the east, literally on the
Where's
east.
Where's it at? Where's RetroCon again?
RetroCon's in Oaks, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Okay. Yeah, I hear a lot of people that way go to RetroCon. They say it's big. It's a big event, isn't it?
It's a pretty decent sized event. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a 2-day event. I've met Alan Oppenheimer before, but he's a really awesome dude. Really awesome dude. He's just a lot of fun, and he's going to be Moss Man.
Oh,
I know he is Skeletor, but he's going to be Moss Man in the new show.
They should have made him Skeletor. Why not?
Because they got Mark Hamill for.
Yeah, I know, but he sounds. And a lot of people. I know we're going to talk about this later, but he sounds like Joker. I mean, it's just a straight Joker, to be honest. And I'm like,
Have I considered reviewing Nick Roach's Awesome Wreckers trilogy? I've considered talking about that, a lot more into that. I need to really dig down and reread it again. I've read parts of it, so just gonna go back here to
hey there, everybody.
Rooster Teeth went cheap. Poor Duke's got an 11-hour drive. He has to drive from Virginia to New York.
Wow.
Yeah.
I got to fly out to TFCon. I'm not driving. That's going to be a whole day drive. I had to fly.
You're in Okie, right?
No, Arkansas. Close.
Arkansas.
I mean, right next to it. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to fly. Me and my wife. Looking forward to it.
My wife really wants to go to one of these conventions, and I have to figure out how I would do it. Kato!
Is she going to
get Kato in earlier?
Is she not going to? She not going to TFCon?
No, my dad is. Because
okay.
Yeah, my dad's gonna end up being the camera dude.
Okay. Oh, okay. Oh,
because otherwise, nice. We're gonna have to watch, watch our kids.
That's true.
Kind of the issue we have is like I would love to take my wife to these conventions, and my wife would love to go and chill out and do that stuff. And
is she going to RetroCon with you then, or you said she's going?
I'm gonna try and see if we can get her to go to Retro. Maybe if she can go on the Saturday and come with the kids, and maybe we can get the tickets for Cybertronic Spree.
Oh, okay.
That would be a lot of fun. And then
that'd be fun.
Yeah, and then when, what's it called? All right, Kato, have a good one.
Bye,
but but like if she can come maybe to RetroCon like the Saturday, and then go see the Cybertronic Spree, and if she can't stay because the kids, I don't know if they're going to get testy, and then they're going to want to go home, but because I mean the convention itself is cool, but I have my daughter is 5, she would enjoy it, but my son will be 3. He's 2.5 now. He'll be 3 at the time of RetroCon.
Yeah, he'll get tired by halfway through. He'll be like, "I'm done. I'm good."
I know. But he'll want to play with everything. He'll grab.
He'll grab everything. And
my son is Bam Bam. Like that's my son. He is
pushing
Bam
a
Bam.
stroller, and you'll be like, and you look down. He has like 5 Transformers in the thing. You're like, "Where'd you get those?"
I know,
and then
right?
You're like, "Oh God,
yeah."
My kid just stole some stuff.
I know. RetroCon is in Oaks, Pennsylvania. It's the last weekend in September, I think it is. And I think the last weekend in October is TFCon.
Yep.
Right?
24th. Yeah, 24th, 25th around there. Alex, I have read Last Stand of the Records. It's been a minute. I have it. I need to reread it. It's been a while, but I did read it. Well, I wish Netflix would make a Last Stand of the Records kind of animated thing. That would be pretty cool. A little cartoon. Or Megatron.
On this guy. I wanted to talk about him.
Okay.
This guy was awesome. Do you have him?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I had him a long time ago, man. He's a must. He's a must. I'm excited for all of them. I want all the Dinobots.
Wait to open this guy.
Oh, yeah.
My son has been running around. Like every time I bring this toy downstairs, he will run around with him and go. He'll be like, "Make grandma." Like
he's got good taste. He's got good taste. I want them all.
Nice.
They're great. The 86, the Studio Series 86 movie stuff is really good. I've liked them all.
I got the dentures in his mouth.
Yep. Yeah. So, Fire Talks? Did you get, or did you?
I got the non-F kit.
Okay.
And I did that because I got the sword. I'm painting the handle of the sword right now.
Okay.
But I got the clear chest.
Yeah. Did you get the neck? Does it come with the neck pieces too?
It does have the neck piece too, but I only did it on the top part of the head because I'm using the other piece for Wheelie's slingshot.
Okay, gotcha.
I need to get because I have Takara Legends Wheelie.
Okay.
So my Wheelie is
I have
an actual transforming toy.
Oh yeah, definitely. Did he come with gap fillers or anything? Like on the forearms?
Yeah. Well, the gap fillers for Grimlock are for the head and for the neck.
Okay. He didn't come with the forearm ones?
No, not for the forearms. Okay. Oh, no, yeah, the forearms. I had to.
Okay, good. Okay, nice.
So I had to do
like that. Why Hasbro can't do that? That's just a simple
so like it flips up
plastic.
like that, and then you can fold it in.
That's awesome.
And then you can close it back up. So then
why can't Hasbro do that? I really don't understand. That's a simple. That's not very much. That's maybe 5 cents of plastic right there.
Yeah, the only thing that sucks is that the screw gets loose a little bit.
Okay.
Um,
when moving it.
yeah.
Okay.
Because of where the screw is.
Okay.
And that's the only downside to it. But you can easily just get a screwdriver if you have to, and just retighten it. But it's good. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I love the clear chest. I wanted that instead of the darker gray.
The smoky gray. Yeah, it was. You couldn't see it.
Yeah, because this was the piece that comes with the toy.
Yeah, you couldn't see the Autobot symbol barely.
Right.
I mean, you had to hold it at a different angle just to see the Autobot. So I was like, why they do that? I don't.
Man, he just like in both modes. I love it.
Oh yeah, he has a great presence. He has a great presence.
Love it. It's big. It's chunky. It's just a fun toy.
Yeah.
Oh, like it's just, man. If they can make more, like I want all 5 Dinobots this scale.
Oh yeah, we're getting Slag. I'm getting him.
I
hope we all Snarl, Swoop, Sludge. I want them all.
This is. I'm like ears, and I ended up picking up another Scourge that I haven't opened up out of the box yet.
Oh, okay, nice.
But because the Scourge, I'm trying to troop build for sweeps.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a rumor that they're going to come with another 2-pack, and they have different head sculpts or something, or there's going to be something changed. So there's going to be some sweeps coming. I think.
Okay. I kind of want like at least 2 that are like the same.
Yeah, definitely.
Or 3. In other words, have 3 like a Scourge and then 2 sweeps that are at least accurate.
Yep, that'd be good.
But and also I know he's kind of busy because he has to work, but a local guy with me, his name, he goes by Monarch Prime online, but he found for me Blur and Cup, and I'm digging them. They're cool. I actually kind of I like the Blur better than the Takara Legends one that I have. Same thing with Cup.
Titan Returns, you mean?
Well, it was Titan's Return mold, but Takara did their diligence to make a better.
Made a better paint job. Only thing I don't get about those two, that really just throws it off, the head sculpts. Cup's head sculpt is just
Blur doesn't bother me.
Blur's fine; he's got a big old chin, but Cup's head sculpt is that's not a good head sculpt.
It's a weird one, yeah.
But other than that, I love the transformation easy. The truck mode is fun. It's a little small, but it's still a great mold. I wish the weapon was a little bigger too. I think there's a upgrade kit for him.
There is an upgrade kit, for a bigger gun. The gun on him is kind of tiny.
Yeah,
I'll agree.
I love the little Energon thing. That's a nice little touch. Throw in that thing. That's pretty cool. I love that
kind of stuff. Like when they do that kind of stuff, it's really neat. Have I talked about? No, I haven't talked about I haven't yet talked about the Masters of the Universe. Just kind of touched on it. A lot of people want me to touch on that. I'm going to wait a little bit because I'm going to, I want to talk about some of the Transformer stuff first, and not to mention, like, a lot of you guys haven't seen me do a live stream in forever. So if you're on and you're watching, just smash that like button. That'll help the channel out considerably.
Yep.
Let's see how many likes we can get the video up to, because I'm chilling out, having some fun, but I also want to talk some Transformers, and I want to talk some He-Man. Because after picking this up, man, I saw this. It was at Walmart for $40.
Not bad. All seasons,
all 130 episodes.
It's at Walmart. Well, I gotta go to Walmart now.
And Walmart actually had something in stock.
That's nice. Yeah, it's been a minute.
It comes with He-Man and She-Ra: The Secret of the Sword.
Ooh.
And it comes with He-Man and She-Ra Christmas Special.
Well, there you go. That's $40. That's worth $40 right there on its own.
And it has the Power of Grayskull, Definitive History of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, Saturday Morning Legacy of Filmation.
Nice.
Which, yeah. So it has a whole bunch of stuff.
I have to go to Walmart and see if we have it.
And so when I saw that, I was like, yes. I had around Christmas time, I got a $50 gift card, and I had not spent it. And
there you go.
It's June, so nice. Merry Christmas, 2020.
Yeah.
He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
That's a good way to spend it too, man.
Yeah. I loved the 2002 show just as much.
I never watched it very much. I didn't watch it.
It was on around the same time as Transformers Armada and Energon. So Cartoon Network had it on around the same time. And imagine hearing Peter Cullen talking Transformers Armada.
Yeah.
And then talking He-Man.
Made you want to get on the floor.
Tsunami guy.
Made you want to get on the floor with some cheese and crackers and just start watching TV again. Man.
Well, He-Man was a Monday through Friday cartoon. Transformers started as a Saturday morning cartoon and then went to, or it was a Sunday morning in my area, and then went to Monday through Friday. So, and then it went to the movie, and it was like the big event. Everybody had to go see the movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I need to get the She-Ra box set next. I have the Ninja Turtles box set, which has all 10 seasons. It's not the Turtle Van, but it's the same kind of box set like this. Okay. But it has all of Ninja Turtles. Of course, I've got Headmaster sitting on my desk.
Oh yeah, I do too.
I have the Matrix of Leadership box set that came with the Shout Factory one. So
did you pre-order the new movie or the 4K one?
I'm gonna order it. I'm gonna get the regular release because I like the artwork better than the Steelbook. Okay. I know that everybody's like, you should get the lithograph, and I'm like,
get whatever you want, man. It's yours. I mean, you don't have to explain why you're getting something. It's like I got it for that reason. That's good. Checked out at the Scavenger episode. See, Armada started off so rough. The kids killed it.
It did, but the later episodes were better. And I think the first 10 episodes of Energon were decent, even if they were terrible at the same time. Yeah. When Starscream turned into, was it Thundercracker? Right. That started getting better. That's the Nemesis Prime episode. Yeah. Yeah, that was a good one. What killed me with Energon and as well. Cool. I'll have to get those. The Voltron and Thundercats. Speaking of which, Lion knows about this. Episode 2 of Thundercats. Warner Brothers is so bad with the way they handle their stuff, which is kind of why I'm kind of glad that they're like, maybe they're moving off to someplace else. Hopefully it'll be better. But the episode 2 of Thundercats on the DVDs doesn't have the music. They've re-released it multiple times in some copies, and they've even fixed it for some people to have. In fact, the DVD that I have for Thundercats is only the first 33 episodes, has the corrected audio. Nice. But it came with a digital copy, and I put the digital copy through Movies Anywhere, and the digital copy doesn't have music on episode 2, but my DVD has the correct music for episode 2. So imagine watching Lion-O versus Mumra, the first encounter of Mumra versus Mumra versus Lion-O, and you don't hear any music. Just at all. Grunting. It's all you're grunting and you hear the grunting and the Like, this is kind of weird. It's like, am I watching porn or am I watching Thundercats? Yeah, you don't hear the da 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 da. Going back with like Armada, the only thing that really would also kill me with Energon and Cybertron when the transformations. They took like 5 minutes to transform. Like, it's only a 20-minute episode, and you're taking 15 minutes already to make transformations. It's like, come on now. That was really hard to watch sometimes, but it was fine. They was good for what they was. I mean, I liked them. I have those box sets, too. I have Cybertron, Energon, and Armada. I have their box sets. Think, Rodimus, think. What's it called? But the Unicron trilogy, I would say... I mean, they had some good original characters. I liked Demolisher. Mm-hmm. I liked, I would say I liked Sideways' heel turn, and then harder heel turn where he wasn't even on either of their side. Yeah. That's some good toys too. Yeah, specifically they did. You know, their toys. I would say the early Armada stuff was garbage toys. I mean, I would say Optimus's toy, like the auto transform gimmick with the trailer. Yeah. Have you ever tried it? No. Yeah, I'll try it. It's really slow. It's like it takes like come on. It's the same transformation on the cartoon that it takes for the toy. That's what it is. Yeah. But it was
what really hurt Armada was the gimmick, which I love the minicons. I love minicons. I love the gimmick, but it took away from the toy as well because you just made them blocks and But I do love the idea. That's why I hope they go back and try to rehash some Armada figures and make them work a little better with the minicon, and they still.
I think the Battle Masters work better, personally, and I like the Battle Masters. I like the port system better, and the idea of transforming into like a weapon and that attaches to it. I like that idea better than a weapon exists on you, but only if the minicon goes into your port. Like I don't like that. I like that to me. Like that's.
But I love like Cybertron, Galvatron, and Megatron. That's a great figure. I didn't like the idea behind the weird thing on Megatron's head. I liked it. I thought
I didn't care for that.
I liked Energon's Megatron.
I wanted a bucket-head Megatron. Like to me, that's iconic for the character. Because every other character in that they didn't do a name slap, that they tried to make look or feel like the original character, like Starscream, or Optimus. Yeah. Red Alert was actually supposed to be Ratchet, but they did not have the name trademark for Ratchet, so they named him Red Alert.
They should call him Autobot Ratchet. That's what they always did usually.
And they started doing that after the fact.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Bumblebee. They didn't name him Bumblebee. They named him Hotshot.
Hotshot. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So it's supposed to be Bumblebee.
Yeah.
And then they got the name trademark. They
lost Bumblebee too?
They had lost Bumblebee. Yeah.
Wow. I did not know they lost Bumblebee there.
They almost lost Megatron.
Ooh. Yeah. That would have been bad. Because they would have named something different than Megatron. Fandom might have went a little crazy.
Yeah. Ooh, and then Energon had some decent toys. I will say that. They had some decent toys. The Decepticons were better toys than the
Tidal Wave. I love Tidal Wave.
I actually got the Micron Legend Shockwave. Nice. Specifically because I wanted the purple.
Shockwave was pretty good.
Purple Tidal Wave.
Big old arm. That was pretty good.
I liked the transformation gimmick of him, but the what's it called? Like the Super Link gimmick or the Power Link gimmick that they did in Energon or Super Link.
Yeah, give them pants and stuff. Yeah, that was kind of lazy.
It felt like it took away from
I like the Rodimus from Energon. That's a good toy too.
I liked his truck mode. Which, speaking of which, you guys know that I'm a big supporter of what Rodimus Prime's alt mode is supposed to be. GM Bison.
Okay.
Yeah, if you don't know what a GM Bison is, go look it up. It is a turbine powered truck that was shown off at the World's Fair. It legit looks like Rodimus Prime's alt mode. The GM Bison is a truck.
Yeah.
That is the base for Rodimus Prime's truck mode. Okay. So they a lot of people think that it looks like a Space Winnebago, but it's actually specifically a futuristic GM Bison. Now, a later rendition of a turbine powered truck exists. The Shockwave truck. It's actually there is it out there. It has a jet engine on the back, and it's like a giant flame. Guess what that vehicle is? Energon Rodimus.
Okay.
So Energon Rodimus is legit the Energon version of what G1 Rodimus would be.
Okay. Nice.
So the idea behind making the alt mode work.
Energon has some good ones, which is weird. They had, Beachcomber, and then I think the brown one was called Cliff Jumper.
I hated the idea behind that.
I think
because a lot of those were name slaps, in my opinion. Cliff Jumper, Downshift.
Downshift, yeah. Man, I have to go back, man. It's been
Wheeljack in Energon. Wheeljack and Armada was a bad name slap. Smokescreen. I mean, how is Smokescreen not grapple? And then, he turns into Hoist. What?
Yeah.
I hated the name slapping in that. And something that started a trend that went into the 2007 movies. So, yeah, because the whole name slapping thing, to me, a character in my eyes should be recognizable.
Yeah.
In Transformers, He-Man, GI Joe, anything. The character needs to be recognizable, and they have to, in my eyes, pass what's called a squint test. So you see the character, you know exactly who that character is. You see that character in any series, you recognize that character. Now, there are exceptions to that rule. They can make costume changes, and costume changes are usually within story. Like they changed their outfit because they got damaged and they got rebuilt in Transformers. The character is no longer part of the team, and now he goes off into his own street clothes outfit. And now he comes back and he's kind of like working with the other good guys, but he's not part of it. Or, other robots that just, or Transformers, anything. Like they need to pass a squint test. They need to be recognizable to who the character is supposed to be. Starscream always has the vents on the side of his head, unless he has a chicken face.
And null rays.
And he's supposed to have null rays, right? Yeah. Or instead, unless he has a chicken face, like in Michael Bay's films.
Yeah. I mean, with Michael Bay, he had Barricade. When you mentioned Barricade, if the Bay version didn't come along, you would never thought he would have been a cop car. Or,
Barricade technically, I mean, to that they were name slapping him all over the place because he wasn't ever a character. There was never a specific character named Barricade until the Michael Bay film. There were characters. There was that Micromaster in G1. There was Onslaught or a part of Bruticus Maximus, but they named him Barricade, right? Mm-hmm. And then Michael Bay came along and they decided to not make Prowl but made Barricade. And to me, I think that was a good choice. And it kind of made a good new character. I don't mind new characters. I don't mind new characters. I like the idea behind new characters. I always like the idea behind new characters. And whether they want to do all of this. Someone posted a picture. A friend of mine, he posted a picture from the Super Friends, and the Super Friends needed more diversity and inclusion. So you know what they did? They created a whole bunch of new characters. Yeah. They created Apache Chief, and they created Samurai, and they created Black Vulcan. Okay. Why? Because they wanted to create more characters. I'm cool with that. Superman exists. So does Black Vulcan. Yeah. Cool. I like the idea behind new characters.
Stop rehashing characters and make a new background, anything like that. Because I'm down with that. But stop taking older characters and making them, try to diverse them, and just make new characters and make new, backstories behind them. And people will love that because people want new stuff. They don't want to just, rehash everything.
Exactly. Exactly. I agree with this one. His Prowl is the good cop. Barricade's the bad cop. Like the idea behind that. Yeah. I don't like the idea behind Optimus getting aggressive in the Michael Bay films. Totally agree with that. I understand why some people like the Bay films. I understand it.
They're fun.
I don't like them. I also don't like Michael Bay's attitude towards the franchise.
Oh no, he hated it. He didn't know anything about Transformers.
He didn't like Transformers even when he made the first film.
No, he didn't know anything. He said this. I remember in BotCon 2000, was it 9 or I think it was 9 in Pasadena. He got elected into the Hall of Fame for some reason, which it was easy. That was a joke. But he even said that he had no recollection with Transformers. Didn't have any tie to it. It was mainly for the money. I mean, he's like, I see robots. We're going to make them big explosions. That's what we're going to do. That was what a Michael Bay film was. Now, I have to tip my hat to Michael Bay. Like I've always said this, and I've talked to you about this. He did put Transformers back on the map and made them a little more worldwide. And he did. I mean, come on. They were kind of struggling. I think Transformers still be around now, but I don't think they'd be as popular because they are really popular now because of Bay. And like I said, they're popcorn movies. I watch them. I turn my brain off and I watch them and I enjoy them, but I don't take them seriously, if that makes sense.
Well, here's my personal opinion. If you had Steven Spielberg attached still, and you had a director who actually cared about the franchise,
oh yeah,
I think it would have been a better film.
Oh, definitely.
The designs would have looked more like recognizable.
Oh no, 100%.
And fans,
100%.
Older fans would have been more accepting of it.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
The thing is that Michael Bay had Steven Spielberg's hand throughout that first film, to the point where it's why people say the first film is the most watchable one.
Okay. After he left, it was like it was a cluster.
Everything it was just a cluster mess. Yeah, exactly.
The last one, I think they have 15 different storylines going at one time.
Exactly.
You didn't know how to follow.
None of the robots are recognizable, and none of the robots are the stars.
Right. I understand. And like I said, I turn my brain off if I watch them, and I don't really, I don't take them seriously. I just think they're great popcorn movies, and I do have to tip my hat a little bit to Michael Bay and say, hey, he did put them back on the thing. It may not have been the best way, but he gave Transformers a more worldwide audience.
I want to get back to that point. Just give me a second here. But Raziel, thank you very much for the super chat for 15 Canadian dollars. Thank you for all you do. I hope Hasbro gives us new original characters while keeping the old ones as legends or ancestors. War for Cybertron has blessed us the nostalgia with the new now. Yeah, absolutely.
We talked about that on our around 30. We actually, when I asked you the question, would you like new characters? You said yes, but I would like for them to still keep in mind that, Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, all of them was still in the picture.
They exist and they always will.
Yeah.
And while still doing new characters, you can add characters like Lugnut to the mix. You can add Windblade to the mix. You can add Victorion. I'm cool with that. Like, I like the idea behind that. And I also like the fact that they even gave us both barricades in the War for Cybertron.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They gave us G1 barricade as a Micromaster, and they gave us movie barricade as part of that Amazon set. Like, I think they were both Amazon sets, right?
Yeah.
But you can have both versions. How cool is that?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like,
it can be done.
Cool idea.
Well, can I ask you a question real quick? So, and I've asked this, I've started asking people on this. Would you want a female lead, like a leader class or a leader that would be female? Would you accept that as, if had a great backstory like Windblade? If Windblade became leader, would you like that?
I mean, if they wanted to do a Transformers spin-off series with a team leader as a female, sure. Give us it'd be cool to have, like, imagine a Transformers spin-off. Like, in other words, you have the main big giant Autobot team, and let's say you have a sub team somewhere, and you make an entire Transformers series with Autobots versus Decepticons somewhere else in the world or somewhere else in the US. Because obviously the original G1 would be based in the US, as they usually are. But then let's say that they're based, let's say, in on the East Coast. And then let's say Elita 1 comes to Earth, takes an Earth mode.
Like X-Men. Like X-Men have different,
gold team and blue team.
Canadian teams, they have East Coast teams, they have all these teams. Yeah, I can see that. That'd be pretty cool.
Like, a lot of people are saying Elita 1, as a leader would be cool. Like, either her or even and let's just say it was just like a team of a mixed group of Autobots. Yeah. And then you had, like, let's say RC or Elita 1, on one team, and they had, like, let's say or even if they had, like, let's say, different planets. Imagine a Transformer series that takes place on a different planet. Yeah. And they're still in contact with the Transformers of Earth. Like, I thought of an idea, and this is my idea for a continuation of G1. I would have Rodimus Prime come back as Hot Rod become Rodimus Prime again.
Okay.
And then he would be the leader of the Autobots of Cybertron. Because he is more of the presidential role anyway. Yeah. Whereas
like season three was like that, right?
Exactly. In season 3, Rodimus Prime was the leader on Cybertron. He made Cybertron a intergalactic peace conference area. He basically built the Cybertronian UN, or GN, if you want to call it that, right?
Yeah.
He banished the Decepticons from the planet. He kept the Quintessons at bay, right? He was able to handle Autobot City on Earth because the Ark got destroyed by the Decepticons, but he was able to take that. He was able to handle both. But imagine Optimus Prime is on Earth, Rodimus Prime is on Cybertron, and let's say another leader, let's say a female leader, let's say Elita 1 returns, and is now the leader of the Autobots on another planet, and they do a spin-off series, and they do Pretenders and Action Masters, let's say, in that Transformer series, like as a spin-off. Like that would be kind of cool. They can cover the G1 stuff. Optimus and Rodimus still exist. You know, bring in Starsaber as a leader on Earth while Optimus goes and helps Rodimus with something. Like, you know, like that would be kind of a cool, like, have all of these adventures happen and you can tell multiple stories. So I lost your audio, dude. Did your audio go out? What happened? Uh-oh. I lost Deluxe. So while I'm waiting for Deluxe to come back, let's see if he can get his things working. I'm fine with RodimusPrimal. Is that going to spend 13? Well, that's the thing, is that like he can overcome his difficulties. If he overcomes his difficulties, he's good. Like to see Elita 1 on Earth. I'd like to see her take an Earth mode. It'd be kind of cool. Give her like a new update. His computer is rebooting again. Poor Deluxe. I lost him there. So, oh, there he is. He's back. There you are.
Okay,
and you're blurry now.
Now I'm blurry. My God.
What did you do?
I don't know. My webcam messes up sometimes.
Okay.
I'll be right back. Golly. My goodness.
I'm very beautiful. Okay. So what shall we do while I am... There are petitions for animated season 4. To me, animated was a good series, but it felt like an ending. To me, animated, and the thing is, they've done a conclusion after the fact to actually conclude animated in a way that still feels somewhat satisfying, even if they could have done a season 4 for it. But I would prefer a G1 continuation. It is, to me, the G1 cartoon has the G1 cartoon has the most amount of expansion that could happen. You could tell the Transformers story between 87 and 90, and then go into G2 and still have a whole bunch of stuff that you could tell. There you go. Now you're back.
My stuff's been messing up on my round 30s. I don't know. It's just, sorry about that. Go on.
My missus says hello.
Oh, hey.
So we were talking, since you just came in, Eureka, I will say this. Maybe we can try and see if you can come with the kids to RetroCon. Maybe one of the 2 days would be cool. Saturday. You know, maybe the Saturday, and we'll see what we could do about that.
But yeah, you talk about RodimusPrimal. Yeah, I think that would be a great idea to have and everything. I was going to say a lot of people thought Elita 1 was a better leader in Earthrise, the new Netflix series. Yeah,
well, because they made Optimus pathetic.
Yeah, yeah. He was, when he started apologizing to Megatron and started doing that. I was like, "What? What is this? Like, stop doing that. Just stop doing that." But,
I am going to send an invite really quickly.
Awesome.
To someone.
Awesome.
See if they can see if they want to join in on the stream. Oh wow! 6 years ago today, I met Tatanka.
Nice.
And I got a picture on of me with him.
Let's see.
All right. So, Lio, if you want to join in, I sent you an invite. Maybe we can do. Maybe we could talk. We can end up talking about the. You like the story? You like the storyline for Hot Rod Rodimus, where he's more of a presidential character and accomplishes more diplomatic missions. Optimus has always been the ultimate soldier. Good story. Thank you very much for the super chat, Craft75.
And
We've got someone who wants to rip and tear.
look, whatever I'm being accused of totally didn't happen. It was that other guy. Okay, seriously, thank you for the invite, Rodimus. I enjoy your channel. I haven't familiarized myself with the other gentlemen on chat, so I'll be sure to do so. But yeah, the entire situation with the He-Man revelation is making me have a big think here, man. Something ain't right.
Now, was this leaked or something? Was because, like I said, I saw the trailer and I saw something, and I saw another article about it's going to be woke and stuff and everything, but I didn't see anything else about it. So, was this leaked or something?
Well, here's the thing. First of all, my personal value, and I know Rodimus is aware of this, I put a lot less stock into the ideology of whether or not something's woke than I do whether or not it's well written. And two things here. Number one, Kevin Smith has been caught lying multiple times about how much of a fan he is with this and his involvement with the original franchise in terms of nostalgia. And on top of that, I mean, come on, man. One of the writers for the new Transformers trilogy is on this, and we all know how that goes. Forgive me! So,
yeah.
It's not even, sad thing is when it comes to things like truth, you don't even need to wait for something leaked or some behind the scenes. These people wear what they're like and who they are on their shoulders. And they always have and they always will. Like Kevin Smith went on this big Netflix stream talking about, I always went home between the years of 1981 and 1982 and watched He-Man and Masters. That came out in 1983. Now, there are people who go, well, it's just a date. Plus, he's a stoner. Plus, he had a heart attack / stroke. I don't know which it is. My argument for the first part is, if I'm in charge of a franchise and I'm proclaiming my love of things, I'm going to double check before I say something that stupid, especially on an edited video. Secondly, if his alleged issue with marijuana or his physical issue is enough to give him a pass for being stupid, then why is he on anything? But that's not just it. If it was just the dates, might be able to pass that. But
here take a look at this, and I'm going to bring this up, Lyle, because here is Kevin Smith. And he talks about the dates, right? We know that Masters of the Universe came out in 1983.
And the toys came out in 82, right? The toys came out in 82, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. But he says 81 in this video.
Oh, yeah, way. Come on now.
81, he was 11 years old.
Yeah, he knew what he was watching. Why lie? Why lie about it, though? I mean, you're going to get caught. Because come on.
Yeah,
why lie?
These corporate people are so arrogant, man. They never think they're going to get caught in anything.
Yeah. So
the true fans know.
He's 11 years old during this video. I mean, 11 years old when he says 81. 83, he'd be what, 12, 13?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So around 11, 13, I was still into Nintendo. I was still into the nerdy stuff. So I get that, right? But here's the thing. I wasn't a He-Man fan, but Gala, and this is January 13th, 2010. 11 years ago from today, or 11 and a half years ago, he says, I wasn't a He-Man fan. But, okay, so, all right, so it's okay if you're not a fan and you say, like, I remember when He-Man came out, I wasn't that big into it, but I tell you this much, I'm into it now. That would be honest.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That would be honest.
Definitely.
This is dishonesty because he's saying, hey, I was not a He-Man fan. I'm a He-Man fan. Now, am I as a hardcore He-Man fan as, let's say, like, I don't know,
Transformers?
Nope. But I'll admit that. But am I a Transformers guy? Yeah. Right? Am I a Thundercat? I like Thundercats. I really love Thundercats, but I don't love Thundercats like Lio does.
Nobody does. It's a mental disorder.
Yes, Lio, I think you have a mental disorder.
But no, the thing is, like, all right, so good example, since we were talking about Transformers, is Bob Ford, Larry DeSillo, right? They had never before Beast Wars written anything for Transformers. So what did they do, gentlemen, when they started writing Transformers?
They went back to fans.
Research.
Wait. Larry DeTilio and Bob Ford. Remember those names.
Mm-hmm.
They were He-Man writers.
Correct.
They were writers on He-Man. Both of them can actually be accredited to the creation of, you wait for it, She-Ra.
Yes.
They were in part the creators of She-Ra, Larry DiTillio and Bob Forward. Where do those names fall as far as Transformers is concerned? Deluxe, answer me that. Larry DiTillio and Bob Forward.
The
you know?
The beginning?
Beast Wars.
Oh, Beast Wars. Okay, no,
Beast
I'm way
Wars.
off. Golly.
They knew
I'm not
nothing.
smart.
They knew nothing. We know Michael Bay knew nothing about Transformers.
Yeah.
Larry DiTillio and Bob Forward knew nothing of Transformers.
But they went back and did some research. And
They went back and talked to us.
Uh-huh.
Not me,
Now-
but
Well-
they went back and talked to the fans.
Do we know? Well, did Kevin Smith do that?
No.
Okay, he did. Okay.
No.
If he would have done that, I think people would have been okay. That's fine. But you said you don't know much about He-Man, but at least you went back and did some research and got people, the fans, at least their input a little bit, and you took that input and you put it towards this. Then I think people would have been more acceptable of that.
Well, gentlemen, it unfortunately goes a little deeper than that because the head of He-Man currently in terms of Mattel stuff is Rob David. And that name probably doesn't sound familiar to anybody here, but Rob David's the guy who did the New 52 He-Man run that was a bunch of dark, edgy nonsense that turned She-Ra into a murderer. He was involved in scripting the Thundercats He-Man crossover, which was an absolute mess of continuity and characterization. And he's also the guy who did He-Man and Injustice, and that was absolute dog crap too. That's the guy they put in charge of this. So I'll be real concise here. If you have a He-Man property and there's these three people not involved in it in one way, shape, or form, it's going to be hot garbage. James Eatock, Penny Dreadful, or Eric Marshall. If one of those three are not involved in any way, shape, or form, it's going to be hot garbage because these people have no clue what they're doing with this property.
Yeah, well, this guy right here, the small guy on this podcast,
I used to watch those. I used to watch that show.
Literally says, "I don't like He-Man. It's kind of corny." And then Kevin Smith, "Well, I don't have no love for He-Man either." He says it.
Cotton 4K.
He says it.
And do you think that they got all the these famous voice actors like Mark Hamill and all that thing just to cover cover up poop, basically to shine a turd like a shiny turd?
But
Probably.
then he did this face.
Look at all these people. Yeah, look at all these voice actors we're getting.
But guys, he cried.
But here's the thing. He goes off and he says, "Okay, like I was watching He-Man from '81, and so he has no love for it." But you're saying you do. Now, here's the thing. Before this past couple of days, I had turned a blind eye to this. I'm going to admit it. And okay, I was not paying attention to Kevin Smith's, fiascos about what he said because he was actively talking to fans, let's say at PowerCon and stuff like that. So I wasn't really, and because I'm a Jersey guy and I kind of want to stick up for Jersey because Jersey gets a bad rap. Even though I'm a New Yorker who lives in Jersey, but still, okay. And I've been to his place in Red Bank, which is actually, I would say, about 40 minutes north of me. He has a comic book shop in Red Bank.
Yeah.
And it does not have it's a comic book shop, but he doesn't stock comic books that he doesn't like. He doesn't stock Transformers comic books. He doesn't stock certain things. You'll find Batman comic books, the most up-to-date comic books of Batman. He'll find Superman. You'll find, Marvel stuff. You'll find box sets for the Ninja Turtles, and then you'll find these giant collectibles. And it's a very cramped comic book store. Very cramped. Across the street, there's an awesome arcade that I did a review with the Rampage game. But he himself says he doesn't like He-Man. All right, well, if you don't like He-Man, but you say, I want to respect He-Man, even though I wasn't, I was a little too old for it. I would respect that more than saying that you watched it every day after school, and then find out that it's 10 years later, and that you say that you don't. Like, to me, that's a lie, and I don't like the lie, and to me that's dishonest.
Well, you're just a toxic fan, Rodimus. How dare you doubt our beloved our beloved promoter here? I mean, clearly he's telling the truth, and all these receipts saying otherwise are just deep fakes done by. Wait, I gotta come up with a new the Bully Cabal of Boomer cartoons. There we go. The Boomer Cabal, the Boomer Cabal of Bully cartoons. Yes.
Yeah. But I mean, here's the thing, because he comes across like he's like a super fan. Now, if he was saying that he was a fan of, like, if he was making a Batman, then again, we know what he did in Batman to retcon Batman Year One, right?
Yeah. Don't
right?
remind me. I have a friend of mine that brings that up and messes with me every time. Like, I'm really enjoying this Batman. Hey, you remember that time Kevin Smith made him wet himself? I'm like, yeah, thank you, Jace. Appreciate it.
He made Batman wet himself during Year One, yeah. Now, I am not a I don't subscribe to a lot of these other reactionary channels.
Yeah.
But I do watch a couple. I have watched a lot of their videos, so I see them. I see you guys talking about them in the chat, and I don't want to I don't want to try and create beef, because I don't necessarily 100% agree with any of them.
I will not, because I am a guest on this channel.
And yeah, and I know you're more of a reactionary channel, Lio. I usually don't do a lot of reactionary stuff, but here's the thing. Like, I get like a lot of people's concern, because that trailer was exciting, was exhilarating.
Yeah, I like it.
But if you are like Lio and you look at the animation, you're gonna
cringe. You're gonna get angry. You're gonna get angry.
Very angry. And when you actually take a deeper look at the animation, you can understand why. The animation that bothered me was the fact that there was no impact frames, and you brought it up, Lio, was that like whiplash kick. I loved the kick at first glance, but then you're like, it kind of looks a little weird. Why does it look a little weird? Oh, it's because it's a wireframe, and they just moved the wireframe out of the way.
Yep. I think the correct term is tweening for that, but yeah, it's literally like when you have one action figure kick into the other one, and it just falls over while not changing expression. They didn't even have to use smear frame. They didn't have to use an impact frame. They just had to change his slight body language and his facial expression. They couldn't even handle that.
Yeah, yeah. It did not look weird. I mean, it looked weird. And then John Clawfield brings up Triclops' hand. That weird color.
Yeah.
Just like, what's going on with that? And then you can try to chalk it up for lighting, but why is the lighting not? It would be a little bit more universal. Like, it would be a little bit more up the body, and it's just one off-color hand.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't look right.
And this is digital animation, so they can't make the excuses we ran out of paint.
But I will give them the benefit of the doubt in making an exciting-looking trailer.
Yeah,
I'm still gonna watch it. I mean, I'm gonna watch it. I'm still excited a little bit.
I'm still gonna watch it.
Yeah.
I still want to see what they do with it. I am not pleased with that Tila image. And I understand you want to update Tila's armor, but at least make Tila still look like Tila. This is the squint test thing.
Yeah, right. The squint test. Because, I mean, I understand updating looks, but come on, make her a little more iconic. And we've had other channels say, well, she's in her traditional outfit. No, she's not. The color scheme's traditional, granted. But every outfit on every character, with the exception of maybe Skeletor, is a wild variance. Now, I know they went with the He-Man H from the Battle Armor action figure. For the obvious reason, they want to avoid the cross.
I would say it kind of is a blend of the 80s cartoon, the Filmation look, and the 2000X series.
What you ought to do is you ought to go to Grimm's Twitter, which I'll pass to you later, and he's actually done redraws and recoloring using more Filmation animation. Yeah, I saw one of them. I saw the Trap Jaw and Man at Arms one. Yeah, that dude's like one of the people who worked on faking Filmation, the whole Return of Faker thing. So he's really skilled. Like that dude helped and compiled with making cell color accurate Thundercat model sheets.
Oh, wow.
by like sourcing or Worth Point and other old eBay listings for Thundercats material, and like that dude is an animal when it comes to researching all this. He's also got I don't know if you saw my Transformers Red review, but all the animation models I used to compare the toys to, those were done by him. That dude's eye is so keen, he can spot whether or not the model sheet's like some Hungarian recreation that has a couple things missing from it. Like, that man is incredible.
Wow. Yeah, he really works on a lot of cool stuff. I've seen. I downloaded every single image that he did for the Transformers model sheets with the correct colors, so I can always use it for like, for reference material. And he didn't get to finish all the way through 87, but
I'm sure he will in time. It's just
but
some of the stuff
it's no longer on AllSpark anymore. So it's because AllSpark's forums are I don't know if they're still down.
Oh, I haven't checked in there for months, so I have no clue.
Because he that's where he had them all. But anyway, but I brought this up because you know how everybody rags on Transformers and G.I. Joe, and I would even say He-Man and Ninja Turtles for bad, or Thundercats even for bad animation. You know how all the modern people who hate.
Yeah, I'm aware, and all of them are dumb and don't know animation.
They really are dumb about not knowing animation, because I'm bringing this up because every single cell in He-Man, all animation up until I want to say 10 years ago or 15 years ago was all done with hand-drawn animation.
It's not quite accurate. There was a shift from how they would animate starting in the early 2000s, actually. And technically, animation still hand-drawn. It's just it went from traditional to digital, allegedly. Now, keep in mind, allegedly, to save time and money that, in theory, they should be able to put to making things more dynamic, more detailed. But as things have gone on, and as Saturday morning cartoons have died, and as the industry has failed to properly modernize, we get things with a lot less detail, a lot less stunning animation. There is some good stuff out there. At some point, I need to do like a video about the modern stuff I do like. Because, what us old people, we have this stigma about it. So, well, everything new is dumb. It's not all like that. But the point is, like, they haven't kept up because they're corporate ran now. And they're not even like corporate ran like Walt used to run his thing, where he was a shrewd businessman and a very cunning, creative mind. They're just all corporate, and they cannot grasp these things. It's why Thundercats has failed at every single turn. Like, again, the guy who did it, Victor Courtwright for Roar, was completely confused the reaction he got. That only happens when you exist in a bubble. Yeah.
He himself said, this was something that I thought about when he, and I just want to bring this up about Thundercats. He himself said, oh, but this is the Thundercats that, like, because my brothers made me watch it. It was more so, I think he was trying to get back at his brothers for making him watch Thundercats, and he didn't like Thundercats, so he made Thundercats Roar because he was given the project of making fun of Thundercats.
I don't know if that would be accurate, because I genuinely think for somehow in his brain, because sometimes these corporate people, they get this mentality of everything must be silly. I genuinely think that's just how he thought everybody else saw it. These people, they don't exist in like what we would call the normal world. They only exist within the confines of their own sphere of influence, and the people there, they don't get outside perspective. That's why these projects constantly fail. That's why stuff like Teen Titans Go was greenlit. That's why all these other things keep getting greenlit, because the studio says, well, we're going to keep pumping this thing out because we think it sells, because we put nothing up against it. You put all these other animated shows against it. Heck, there are modern things that are like done by independent creators. You put any Harry Partridge cartoon against anything on television right now, with very few exceptions, and Harry's going to beat the pants off of them with a production crew of 2 people.
Damn.
Wow.
Dude, Leo just took over your channel, man. I'm just sorry right now.
Yeah, he that's because
I'm fixing to back out. I don't know what I'm doing here, man.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. That was good.
Oh, you know what? I gave you a platform to yell.
Oh, that was the first mistake, bro.
But no, to your point, Rodimus, like you brought up the backgrounds on Filmation, all of them hand painted and meticulous detail.
This is the point I'm trying to make. G1 Transformers and G.I. Joe were animated in Japan by Toei, but Filmation was here at home, and they were animated with hand-painted animation cells. It was hand-painted animation cells in Japan, but here is the difference between how He-Man handled it and, let's say, like G.I. Joe and Transformers. Well, He-Man was all hand drawn, but they rotoscoped a lot of the people walking. Mm-hmm. They rotoscoped. In other words, they would film actual people, like a bodybuilder, and they filmed him in costume to be He-Man, and then they drew over him, and they had all of that motion, and they just drew over it for a blank animation cell that they would place on top of these hand-painted drawings, and they were huge. I mean, you see something like Snake Mountain, or you see the throne room for the sorceress. Look at all the detail on that. You know, I mean, it's incredible, right? It's just incredible backgrounds. I mean, even some of the weird, funky forests, like that was kind of how it was also done. Like there was what 3 animation studios for Transformers. Most of it was done by Toei in Japan for the first 2 seasons.
We don't talk about ACOM.
ACOM was 3 episodes of season 2, and an unknown animation studio. I think, you know, Action Figure Expert says here was in the Philippines. Was for some episodes like Triple Takeover, you know, and so some episodes were, you know, were animated by different people. But here is the thing: is that you had all that hand drawn animation, so it was the script was written in America, was recorded in America, in California, and then they had to ship the audio unslugged to Japan with the storyboards. Mm-hmm. They ship it to Toei. Toei has to animate it. Now, here is the thing about He-Man now, and I mean the cartoons now and in the cartoons back then. And I'm defending Transformers while I'm also talking about He-Man, and I'm also talking about other stuff. Because Transformers, let's just talk about the episode Transport to Oblivion. Episode 4. It takes place after the pilot. They've just greenlit that they want to do a full season. So now episodes 1, 2, and 3, More Than Meets the Eye, are going to air in September of 1984. They've already by February, April, between February and April, they already had the episode pretty much like set to go. So there's, you know, it is what it is. But then Transport to Oblivion, they hired Bryce Malek, I think his name was. And he and someone else, I can't remember the guy's name. The guy's, I'm losing who it is right now. But they wrote that 4th episode in July of 1984. They wrote it. They sent it to Ron Friedman. Now, Ron Friedman was hired because he knew the voices of the characters. He made sure the voices were the same. So he would write that episode. He would do the read edits on that episode. They would record it. Remind you, this is July of 1984. The audio was done, let's say, by mid-July, maybe the end of July, and then the audio gets sent to Japan. It has to get animated, and it has to get back to America. Now, mind you, no digital. It's not digital. They have to ship it from California to Japan. Wow. They animate the episode, and it has to get back in time for an October release. Transport to Oblivion aired in October of 1984. That's 3 months. Hardcore for hand-drawn animation.
Yes, and it is.
With cells like this. So when you have this mistakes of season 3 in Japan, season 3 in G1, season 3 in G1 is done because they had to get those. They needed to get those episodes up and ready to go, because 5 Faces of Darkness was the only 5-part episode that was greenlit going into the movie. They had to get season 3 like ready to go, like so quickly that they did not have time. So the animation mistakes in season 3 are caused by the fact that they had to outsource to so many animation studios, and it had to come back within time to air by September of 1986. So a lot of those animation mistakes are caused by that. The other thing is that the episodes of season 2 were done because they needed to hit that magic number of 65. Because in order to go Monday through Friday back in the 80s, you had to have 65 episodes, not these 5 episodes or 10 episode seasons that you see on Netflix and Amazon Prime. No, it was 65 episodes. Season 1 of He-Man is 65 episodes. Season 2 of He-Man is 65 episodes. So I think it was until about 85 or 86 that you had to have a minimum of 65 episodes to go Monday through Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And so in order to do that, you needed to get enough writers to write that many stories. Well, let's say I am, let's say I'm in charge of making Transformers. So Ron Friedman and Flint Dille, they would outsource to all the different writers that are circulating in Hollywood, and they would get someone to write an episode. Let's say Lyle Convoy wants to write an episode where Sea Spray goes to some planet and meets a mermaid.
Watch me do it.
And then he does, and it comes in, and we greenlight it. So we get that episode, and then all of the characters don't sound like the characters. So Ron Friedman would come in, and he would rewrite the dialogue so it sounded like Sea Spray, so it sounded like Optimus Prime, so it sounded like Megatron. But Lyle came up with this weird robot that like is a leader of a planet, and he's taking over. That's the Septatran, I think it was, in Sea Change. Right, and I'm bringing that up, not that you did write Sea Change. I'm just not I'm just using you as an example.
Yeah,
but like that's how they would do it. They would get these guest writers to write because they were telling a story. They were telling a story, and then when the story that they were telling might not have fit within the universe that they were telling, that was Ron Friedman's job. That was Flint Dille's job. Their job was to come in, rewrite the dialogue so it sounds like the character. Now, here comes the problem that you have with a lot of these shows that are done now. You get a writer's room, and these writers have no attachment to the original series. They have no attachment to the source material. They don't care that continuity was made between these shows. And so if you're going to do a reboot, it's one thing. But if you're going to do a continuation, you better make sure that show matches the tone, the feel of the original show. Why? Because people want to come in and write it in, but they have no care for it. Now, the other problem is that when you make a lot of these new reboots, they don't care about the source material. They make fun of the source material. Mm-hmm. So you get somebody that comes in and says, I think the original She-Ra was stupid. I even think that the fans of She-Ra are stupid. I want to make my own She-Ra show. Yeah. So this person goes ahead and does that. And guess what? The original She-Ra voice actress comes in and says, I love my fans, and I love the original show, and I love the work I did on that show, and every single one of my fans has respected me. How could you tell me that a show is all of a sudden all of the fans of that show are excellent? Are evil, or they're this, or they want to add an ist to the end of their title? Come on, like that's
there's a level of entitlement that goes there.
It goes, and these writers in Hollywood. And here's the other thing, I just recently watched The Boys. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's awful, but it's awful, but. The thing about that show was that I will give a good highlight on is that it highlighted how Hollywood today goes ahead and says, well, we want to do representation, so we're going to force someone who is something to be more than they are instead of trying to be a human being. Like there's one character named Queen May, and she turns out to be bi, and she ends up like wanting to live her life the way she wants to live her life. Well, they want to force her into one or the other, and she's like, just let me be human. And they can't, because of Hollywood does these. What they do is they try to do representation superficially. It's all superficial.
Wink and nod.
It's all corporate.
And honestly, just to butt in here a little bit about The Boys, if you want to look at anything Garth Ennis has done, because that's who wrote that initial series, just go read like Punisher, Max, or Hitman. Both are fantastic runs. Like that man's been on record, like the only comic book characters, like traditional comic heroes he actually likes, are Superman and Catwoman. He loves both of them. Can't stand anybody else. So that's why he's really good at like street level characters that are tough as nails, but they're really entertaining. So Boys, I don't care for Boys because I am so tired personally of what if Justice League and Superman, but evil.
Yeah,
I'm tired of it.
I'm tired of it.
So
I hated
I'm
it.
tired of it. They can't even get him right in general. Now they want to try to make him wookie spooky evil. I'm sick of it.
It was not only was it so terrible, but it was. I mean, it's a trope that's become like all over the place. Like, why don't we do evil Superman? Justice League, let's do evil Superman. Injustice, let's do evil Superman. Well, we have The Boys with an evil rendition of Superman. Now, I will give credit where credit's due. Invincible was actually good. Invincible was also done by the actual comic book creator.
Yeah, so, the animation's really rough on it, though. Like, good God, they could have polished that.
It is. It is.
And that's one thing I want to bring up to all these people who go online. It's like, well, look at this one specific scene of an 80s cartoon that has really bad animation. The best response you can get these people is, they didn't have Control Z back then. What's your excuse? Because I'm a digital artist. I recognize the use of the Control Z, which means you can undo what you did. If anybody's ever painted on any sort of canvas, I don't care what it is, oil, acrylic, whatever, if you screw up, you are going to hate yourself. And in the worst case scenario, you got to go back and redo the whole doggone thing. And that's what these people had to do back in the day. There is a specific skill to proper draftsmanship, proper painting, and proper pacing. And as much as people like to say, well, make sure that this new video game we paid $60 to $100 for with a ton of glitches, make sure you're really polite about it, because the artists and coders had to be on crunch time. Every 80s property in one way or another was on crunch time.
They were on crunch time.
But they don't want to show them that. They don't want to show them that respect.
They had to release that video game back then, and it had to be complete.
On time.
There was no DLC or patch to download to fix your game.
They had a series on Netflix about the video game making and all that stuff, and I watched it on Netflix. It was really good.
Now,
they had
to Filmation. A lot of people will point saying, well, He-Man didn't have very good animation. And that's when you can engage them like, all right, what did they do that was bad? Because 9 times out of 10, they're parodying the same nonsense that John Crispallucci, the creator of Ren and Stimpy, insert thing here that YouTube won't demonetize Rodimus for. Let's say wink, wink, nudge, nudge, too many of the little ones. But that's something he propagated because he worked in Filmation. He was miserable because he wasn't doing what he wanted to do. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, if you actually look at it, the reason why they move the way they do, again, is because they're rotoscoped. That's not bad animation. Animation is about movement and the illusion of life. He-Man being able to run, jump, row, and roll like a human being does is a mark of good animation. These are the same people who can't tell you the difference between 1s, 2s, and 3s, or 24 versus 12 versus 6. They're more interested in, well, does the scene have a bunch of flashy explosions? Well, yeah, that can be fun. That can be good, but that doesn't mean the animation itself is good. Sometimes that's just used to cover up a complete mess of things. And on top of that, one thing I really am sick of in the discussion is also people on our side of the aisle who are fond of 80s cartoons who then go and champion anime, modern anime. It's like, well, we should just do it like this. They don't know the animation industry there either. Those people are worked to freaking death. Literally, it's not a figurative, not being hyperbolic. Neither of theirs nor ours have properly modernized the way they are supposed to be. In Japan, depending on what you're stuck at, because there's a lot of interchanging between what position you're at that day, you might get paid $10 an hour. You might also get paid $1 a drawing. So we got to modernize properly at some point instead of just listening to corporate slugs tell us how to be proper creators. They don't have a clue. Look at what Kevin Smith's doing. Look at what Noel Stevenson did. Look at what all these other people are doing. They have no clue. And while nepotism has always been in this industry, let's not pretend otherwise. Back then, these people had like a heavy level of skill they could take elsewhere. Look at Flint Dille. He was on Transformers and G.I. Joe and Dungeons and Dragons and somehow on Pokemon Go. You don't get those places without talent. The modern thing is failing upwards somehow.
Deluxe has been like so calm about this. I'm just
listening, man. I'm learning.
Yeah.
It's good.
I'm letting Deluxe just breathe there for a second because I was waiting to see what your comments would be about some half of this stuff because the thing is that if you study any bit of animation, you would be passionate about wanting to see good animation come out and good storytelling come out. You want to move the characters forward, fine. Let's make good animation. Let's make good storytelling. I mean, we're not gonna get to Akira levels of animation,
But we can now. That's the sad thing.
Yeah.
But like you said with the Kevin Smith, you're going off, 40 years later off of He-Man.
Yep.
If you change this, you've got to go back to the story. You've got to do your research like he's supposed to, and then if he's gonna, if you want to tweak some things here and there, like you said, Tila, whatever, that's fine. I don't care. I still know it's Tila, but you can't just change everything and then expect the fans, the older fans, which that's the ones probably more excited than just newer fans, because a lot of people don't know who He-Man is. Older fans do. So
we were told this was for the older fans. So if anybody comes at you saying it's not for you, stick them in the eye with that nonsense. And I said this in a previous stream, I'll say it again. Never let them live that down. Never be quiet about that. If this thing sucks like I'm pretty sure it's going to, don't let them live it down, and never forget. And anybody who tries to yell you down, well, you're being negative. Life isn't all about positivity and making you feel good. If you cannot understand or comprehend negative things, you're in for a rough ride. What is it Jaga said to Lion-O? A ruler must learn to take the bad with the good. Welcome to life.
Yeah. So I just want to say just that in particular, and before we finished our chat with He-Man, because I think we've ranted enough. But the last point I want to make is exactly that. They say it's not made for you. Well, this is Masters of the Universe, Revelation. It is being sold as a sequel series to the 1982 TV show, which means that if you were alive back in 1982, or even if you were alive, let's say, watching it back to back with He-Man, and because He-Man did reruns, I think, all the way through 87. If you were watching it right back to back with She-Ra, growing up with He-Man, this is who this show is made for. The show is made for the adult audience who grew up watching He-Man and want to see He-Man brought so that they can see it revived today. A continuation of He-Man that we didn't necessarily need a continuation of He-Man, but they want to revive the franchise.
They said in the trailer, it's the first thing, after 40 years,
right.
This is everything. So you better make it for us.
Exactly.
Because that's who you're
targeting. It's not made for me. Which means that
who are you making it for?
But if it's made for me, then I have room to complain if it's not good, don't I?
Yeah, everybody has room to complain.
No, you have to be super positive. Otherwise, you're a big, mean, toxic fan person. Let me dig through your Twitter thing and see if I can find you saying something mean about random. Aha! You said that was dumb on May 2nd, 2006. I'm canceling you. BRB. Yeah.
He-Man was on syndication early in the 90s as well, so it went on. It continued on because the 1987 movie, which didn't do well.
Well, they say after 40 years, we had the 2000X and we had the New Adventures of He-Man.
That would be great.
Are we magically forgetting those exist? Also, real quick before you close the stream out, I would ask one thing.
I'm not ending the stream. I wanted to stop talking about I wanted to move on from He-Man.
Can we make one roundabout here real quick where we go around the table and we ask what you think is going to happen in the series? Because I have a pretty good idea of what I think is going to happen.
I have no clue what's going to happen.
If I was being positive, and I thought seriously, if I'm being positive, and I think the way the show is going to go, based upon the synopsis, it sounds a lot like Final Fantasy VI during the Floating Continent, which I even said this on Twitter, was that Kefka knocked the world out of balance, destroyed the world, and Celeste had to get everybody back together. She became the main character of the World of Ruin, but she wasn't the main character at the beginning of the game. And that was done because they wanted to try and cope with loss. But this is, so this, in my eyes, I think what's going to end up happening is He-Man and Skeletor are going to have their classic battles like we're expecting. We're going to see all of these characters in a rendition of modernized version of classic costumes and looks, and characters are going to have their big giant supersized fight, and Skeletor is going to win. He is going to take the power sword, and he's going to gain the secrets of Grayskull, and it's going to turn He-Man back into Prince Adam in front of Tila, who then finds out that yes, she is the daughter of the sorceress, and she is the, and that Prince Adam is He-Man, and then Skeletor is going to basically destroy the world, so to speak, and it's going to become like Mad Max, and so all of the Masters are going to get spread out, and they're going to have to flee from Skeletor's might and power, and Teela is going to try and get everybody to regroup. Evelyn is going to get betrayed by Skeletor, so that's why she is going to join forces with Teela. But Teela is going to be trying to get everybody back together because she is supposed to be the next sorceress and try to find out where Adam got banished to so that she can rescue him and bring him back so he can become He-Man and stop the might of Skeletor once and for all. That's my positive look at what I think is going to happen.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think it's going to last one season. That's it.
Now,
go ahead.
Go ahead and tell me what you think.
Here's what I think is going to happen. King Randor is going to be critically injured, prompting Skeletor to feel more free to assault Grayskull. At some point, Adam has to transform into He-Man in a way that reveals his secret identity. Then there's going to be a battle, and through some trickery or stroke of luck, Skeletor is going to gain control of the Power Sword and become Skelegod, since this was already spoiled in the new toy line, and the Sorceress will likely be killed, because that's what Rob David did in New 52. This will lead to the heroic warriors being scattered and enemies of Skelegod's new order. He-Man will likely be MIA, Teela, Orko, Evelyn, who will defect because it suits her purposes, will go on a quest to try and defeat Skelegod, while Teela discovers her destiny to become the new Sorceress. Skelegod will send various enemies to track and kill them, like Merman, Scarecrow, etc. That's what I think is going to happen.
That sounds more probable.
Man, y'all thought about this a lot. I haven't. I just watched the trailer and like, okay, I'll watch it.
I drive a lot for a living, so I have a lot of time to think.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, which version? Now, just asking you, Deluxe, what version of the R2 renditions do you think is better?
I have to go with leaning over Leo's probably a little bit. I can see either one of them. I mean, both of them are great. The way you just said that, Ronald, I think that would be a great storyline. I think it would be good. But I think the way that they portrayed He-Man during the trailer, as he had the cloak on, whatever, everything, he was Drifter or something like that kind of thing going on. I think I was trying to lean over to what Leo was talking about. Like he was, they had to find He-Man or something. Teela goes looking.
Well, pretty much it's kind of like the same, very similar.
Yeah.
Very similar. But it's, I like the idea of, if Prince Adam was banished, he might be feeling sorry for himself and Teela might actually have to get him to come up. Look, I found out you're He-Man. You are the hero. You need to rise up. Now, that was
the song. It's that song. So.
Here's the thing, though. That would be better than what happened to Luke Skywalker.
Well, that rod's on the ground and rusting.
Yes, I'm only bringing that up for the comparison's sake. I'm not bringing it up because I want to talk Star Wars.
I'm not even a Star Wars fan. Trust me, I get it.
Yes. So the whole idea is that you need to treat the characters with respect, even if a cataclysmic event like that happens and it turns Eternia into Mad Max land. So,
definitely.
there still has to be respect for the characters.
Yeah.
And I think that even goes with Transformers. Why do you think that many of us didn't like War for Cybertron?
Apparently because we're a bunch of old, bitter men who like toys too much, and we don't have any critical thinking skills.
I think a lot of it was because they were running and not transforming. I mean, a lot of it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. The voice acting. I mean, you could go on and on about some of the stuff. I mean, it was fine, but like I said, when they didn't transform and just started running everywhere, I was like, "You're Transformers. Why are you not transforming?" And then the voice acting really kind of killed it, especially Optimus, and it's just yelling and then he's like, "Hey, and Tommy," and him, like I said, I don't know if he was apologizing to Megatron or asking, Megatron, we accept this or something. It's like, accept my apology. I think that's what he was when he's fighting and everything. It was just like,
oh, yeah.
Like, why are
you forgive me?
Like, no,
we are not the Decepticons. And he literally went from Optimus, like a bad Peter Cullen impression, to a bad Batman impression.
Where's the drugs?
He's like, like, Autobots, make sure you get out of there. We got to stop. Like,
and it was just, but then, you know, when Alita won, like I told you, we was talking earlier about Alita 1 being a good, you know, leader. It's just like, she questioned him every single time. Every time Optimus made a decision, she always questioned him. I was like, shut up. Just, he's the leader. Let him lead. If he fails, he fails. Let him fail. But
fairness,
stop questioning.
In fairness, I'd question that version of Optimus every step of the doggone way, too.
Okay, but I'm just saying every time.
Not everybody is as cynical as you, dude.
I mean, every time he says something, Alita 1 looked at him like he was stupid. I'm just like, stop. Just let him lead. Just let him, you know, like I said.
I'll have you know, it's not cynicism. It's my Grimlock brain.
Okay.
Leader, there's Grimlock. I don't know what they're going to do with Kingdom, which I think is coming out in July. You know, I'm still excited. I'm still going to watch it. I'm going to, you know, and everything. But it's just, I don't know.
So while we're talking about that, why don't we actually talk some Transformers news while we were at it?
Uh-oh.
Where were we?
Hey, I can actually give my input about this.
Okay. So I want to share screen. There we go.
Because y'all were good. The He-Man segment, y'all were really, both of y'all were on point.
We were both a little animated with some of this.
No, that's fine. That's what makes it good.
So, Kingdom has not gotten any promotional material except for this.
Yeah.
Now, we have been very critical of the War for Cybertron trilogy. Very critical of it. But I am still eager to see how it ends.
Yeah, me too.
I want to see how, like, I know they're not going to do the Beast Wars characters the way that a lot of us are expecting. I know that. Mm-hmm. Animation wise, I think that he purposefully saved their budget for the Beast Wars characters because they had to create a lot of new models. That is something with computer animation that they had on this very limited Netflix budget, was that they were only allowed to make 18 episodes. They had to split it into 3 parts, and they're going into a time paradox. So what's happening is that they're crash landing on a prehistoric Earth of the Beast Wars. That is, the events are different, but they're crash landing after the Beast Wars have already begun, whereas the original original Beast Wars cartoon, the Ark was already crash landed and the Nemesis was already in the sea. So that was different. And they were only focusing on season 1 Beast Wars characters. Clearly from this image, Dinobot is still on the Predacon side, which that's supposed to be a heel turn a face turn that is supposed to happen in episode 1 and into episode 2.
That's good. I like that idea.
This is done a little bit differently because, again, it's a different timeline. One of the things a lot of people were asking about the War for Cybertron trilogy was, is this show part of the G1 cartoon continuity? And FJ DeSanto was saying, well, it's kind of like before G1, but it's not. So he was literally saying it's not in the same timeline. But the way that it was marketed, and that's because Hasbro wanted Siege to literally be pre-G1. They wanted Earthrise to be around the same time as the G1 cartoon, and they wanted Kingdom to take place with Beast Wars, but they didn't know how to do it, and that's what FJ DeSanto was trying to figure out during the years that they were trying to work on the War for Cybertron trilogy. But they had to do it in 6 episodes with a limited budget, with no money to do, with good voice acting. They had some good voice actors, but a lot of them we've already talked in lengthy detail about how much we like or don't like the voice actors they've used.
Overall, it wasn't good.
And but overall, the show has either it's disappointed people who have come to with an expectation about how the characters are supposed to react and behave, especially longtime fans like us. So
that's the 6 episodes. That's if they would have pushed it to maybe 8 or 9.
They would have been able to tell more stories.
Yeah, I think it would have been. I think more people, more fans, G1 fans, would have been more accepting.
Yeah. This is the War for Cybertron trilogy's universe version of Beast Wars. So the same thing with Galvatron's appearance in Earthrise. You know, Galvatron shows up and he comes in, and it's literally like referencing the '86 movie, and you know he's hinting that he is Megatron, which is cool. But he's starting to point back to events that happened in Siege Megatron's past, because he's trying to say, like, I am your future. I don't want you to become me. And I get that. I liked Galvatron in Earthrise. I think that he was a wasted opportunity because he should have been in it more. And from what we've gathered from, where are we? This one? Yes. This is spoiler alert right here, guys. This is the soundtrack for Kingdom, the music for Kingdom, and the tracks and what their names are. So we got a bunch of different tracks, Galvatron and Nemesis Prime. So is this an alternate future in which Galvatron is facing off against an Optimus Prime who turns evil?
Ooh.
And that is Nemesis Prime, because they hinted at it in Earthrise. So I think that what's going to happen is that Unicron actually tried to alter events, not going against Galvatron's plan, because Galvatron didn't want Megatron to become Galvatron. That's what I think is going to happen, and he's trying to use their version of Beast Wars to prevent it from happening. And so the Beast Wars characters are going to interact. What do you guys think?
I think that however they handle this, it's going to be an absolute mess, because every character is going to talk like this.
Yeah. Why you got to pause? I could see that happening. I mean, what you just said, yeah. I mean, he wants, and they did hint, that they showed, Nemesis Prime, rising up and everything. So,
yep.
Yeah, I can see it going that way.
Yeah. I would like to see that happen.
What I think is how many episodes are going to be? 6 again? 6. Yeah. 6. There's not going to be enough time to get you're going to see a lot of Beast Wars fans going to be upset because there's not going to be a lot of backstory for them.
Yep.
I think they're going to get played. I think they're going to get played real hard. That they're thinking this is going to be a Beast Wars thing. It's not. It's going to be a G1 thing, and they're going to be side characters. You're not going to get a backstory on most of these characters at all, and that's going to really upset. Which I'm upset too. I would love. I think Beast Wars could have been on its own without G1 mixing in. I think Beast Wars would have been fine just being on their own.
I think that specifically the Beast Wars characters, despite the voice acting, are going to be animated really well. Personally, I think that the animation for it is actually going to be a lot better, because again, they've saved the budget.
Yeah,
Earthrise, the animation on it was
iffy.
It was iffy, right? And I think that they've done, because it's the same animation studio as Transformers Prime. So whether or not you like Transformers Prime or not,
I love
Transformers Prime was a very expensive show.
I love Prime, but every time I see Siege or Earthrise, I'm like, that's the same studio, and they can't freaking do things like they used to. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah. But I think that they've saved their budget for the Beast Wars characters. Now, as to how well they're going to be handled
or portrayed, yeah,
I don't know. I honestly, well, here is the thing. You've got one of the writers already. Gavin Hignite was one of the writers on Cyberverse. He was one of the writers on Siege, and he was one of the co-writers on Earthrise. I think Siege was more well put together than Earthrise was, personally. But Kingdom, specifically for the characters, they actually got Maycat, who is also on Cyberverse. Maycat is the one who changed Acid Storm, I think it was, from a male to a female mid show. in Cyberverse and changed Skywarp into a female. Because she wanted to have different versions of characters. Same thing for Cosmos. And but she loves Beast Wars. Absolutely adores Beast Wars. She thinks Beast Wars is the best Transformers cartoon. So I'm hoping that her writing does wonders for the characters. It is respectful for the characters. I'm not going to necessarily say that the voice acting is going to act up to it. I'm not necessarily saying the story is, because the writer, I believe one of the writers for Earthrise didn't go ahead and begin writing for Kingdom, but instead went ahead and went to write Masters of the Universe Revelation.
They missed
it's all around the same time.
I think they missed a great opportunity for the voice. I mean, if you could have got David Kay, Gary Chalk, and Scott McNeil to come in, that would have been a great nod. But we didn't get Peter Cullen or Frank Welker, any of the high, because they just didn't have the budget. They're
expensive for that. They didn't have the budget for a Netflix budget
and everything. So there was so much. There was so much promise for this. They could have all went all out. Because when I heard that they were going to be on Netflix, I was like, yes, Netflix is going to be good. They can do whatever they want. They can do start fresh, and then it's been kind of hit and miss.
I agree with this statement, is that they missed their opportunity to have Frank Welker, David Kay, Peter Cullen, and Gary Chalk on the same show.
That would have been epic. That would have been epic.
It would have been. I mean, David Kay was a voice of Hardshell, one of the Insecticons in Transformers Prime.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. It was strange, not because of the swapping, but because they kept switching, kept waiting for a scene, then their quarters and stripping away body parts. Yeah, it was weird. Definitely weird.
And I hope to God that Bumblebee and Alita or RC transform in this one at least one time. I mean, come on. I mean, that's whatever.
It's all a matter of whether or not they're going to use new animation models, and that's really the problem. Is that they don't necessarily have the money to do all of those animation models. And to be quite honest with you, this is why I wish they did hand-drawn animation. And FJ told me that hand-drawn animation is more expensive now.
It is. But the thing is, I keep hearing from you guys, if they had the money, they do. Hasbro has the money.
Oh, they do. Yeah.
It's Netflix that financed it. It's Netflix that financed the show.
Well, Netflix has the money too.
Netflix absolutely has the money. The point
Netflix does. They won't spend the money.
Oh, no. Yeah.
But they'll put cuties up there. Isn't that brilliant?
What's going to happen is, with like Earthrise and Siege, they're going to cram so much stuff in, and you're just going to be like, what's going on? 6 episodes is not enough. I mean, they're just, like I said, to get some, especially when you're introducing new characters. You're having a whole new set of Beast Wars characters come in, and you have 6 episodes to try to go off on what G1 has already done with Earthrise and Siege. Now you got to introduce Beast Wars characters. You got to have a backstory for them. And there's just not enough time. There's not enough time.
The thing is, here's what's going to happen, right? They're going to put it out. It's going to be a critical failure. They're going to get bad reviews. And because these things are ran by corporate morons with bow ties and no concept of nuance, they're going to say, well, Transformers failed. We're not going to look at why or how or what we could have done to change that or how to correct it in the future. It's clearly a dead property, and we're not going to do anything else with it because we didn't make as much money as we wanted to.
Yeah, that's true.
Just bring this up. Thank you so much for the super chat. Samium, I'm going to butcher that. What timeline the Autobots built Scramble City? That would be Japanese G1 continuity.
Wasn't that between season 2 and the movie?
Between season 2 and the movie.
Yeah.
Sometime in the late 80s, maybe.
Yeah.
Because that's the only time that Carly and Chip were on the same frame in the same episode. Chip and Carly were not.
Leo is perfect. He hit it, dead on, because they're going to say this is a failure, and then we're not going to get anything else from Transformers probably for a long time.
Well, I think it's going to get the viewership. I still think, but here's the thing: it's season 3 of a show. Netflix is notorious for bad marketing for their final seasons of a show. Did you know when Voltron season 8 came out on Netflix?
Nope.
No, I knew when season 5 came out because it was plastered all over the Netflix, stuff. But I didn't know when season 8 came out until I began to see the people who had such a negative reaction to the final season. And, they're not marketing this as much as they would if the show was continuing. And Netflix tends to do this with their final seasons. So they've seen that they've made money and they've made viewership out of the first 2 seasons. So Netflix would be willing. In fact, actually, they are. It's the reason why we're getting. I think what is it? Bots.
Yeah, bots, and I mean, I'll take that back. We are getting a bunch of stuff. I mean, I think the bots. I think
Nickelodeon is the next place that the show. They're going to do a 26 episode Nickelodeon series of Transformers,
and we're still getting movies too. We're getting like 3 movies, I think, so far. I mean, the rumor is we're getting a Transformers 7, Beast Wars, and there's another. I think we're getting Bumblebee 2, I think.
Thank you so much for the super chat, Orion Pax. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I said, we're still getting Transformer stuff out there. I mean, like I said, we're getting the movies. Transformer 7's a green light. Beast Wars, I still think is a green light. I think they're going with that, and I think they're doing Bumblebee 2 as well. So. What bothers me about all of these Transformers properties coming out is the toy lines themselves are hitting a big problem with the quality control issues and the how many times do we have to get filler kits? They're certainly making
third party
filler kits.
Third party.
Lyle, you only buy masterpieces now, right?
I'm dealing with a bit of a struggle here because while I do like some of the things they have coming out, I do like some of it's like really solid stuff.
Yeah.
Like if you need to order an upgrade kit for every figure coming out to make it look not terrible, they're failing at what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
That's the problem here. Like I would love to just be able to go back and just get things that don't completely suck. And have that norm. We had that throughout quite a bit of Beast Wars all the way up through the lines. But now it's just, well, here's our thing. Here's the extra money we're going to charge you for it while we're giving you literally less product.
Yeah.
The engineering's not as good as they're trying to sell you that it is. So I've delved in a little more into Masterpiece. I've even gone in some cases to third party because I'm not getting my money's worth for some of the more modern stuff.
Deluxe, the big third party guy.
So like right now I've ordered some regular stuff. Like of course I'm keeping up with Kingdom. I'm going to follow through on that. But after this Kingdom trilogy and after all this Beast Wars stuff comes out, I'm not going to be a completionist about anything anymore. I'm just not. Number one, I don't have the space for it. Number two, like while I have the money, I can't continue to justify to myself that when I can get, as much as I hate to say it, like a third-party figure that might be like 6 to 10 inches for $50 is doing better than what we're getting now through these people. It's ridiculous. They're going to price everybody out sooner or later, and we're going to get gimpier, more hollow figures that look even worse. That RC is an abomination. Like, good God.
Yeah. It's fair. I would say it's not only it's more than just Hasbro's doing.
Oh, no kidding.
It's clearly. I mean, the price of oil increasing in price and other manufacturing and what have you and shipping and all that kind of stuff is increasing the cost of the materials. So that in and of itself, without getting into the political spectrum of anything, is driving the price of the product up. But then the toys themselves have been coming out and they're, in order to save costs, they're very hollow, and some have a lot of flaws. To some people, they're perfectly fine. And you know what? More power to you. If you like the toy as it is, they are serviceable just as they are most of the time.
The thing is, when it comes to some of this stuff, like you can point to 90% of these problems being down to lack of modernization. I liked brick and mortar, or rather I liked it when I could go in and find things. Now you can't. scalpers get them, or people who I'm sure Rodimus probably struggles with this as well. I work a lot of hours. How these people find these things and don't have jobs and have the money to buy these things, I don't get. They're there every morning when these places open. They buy them and they turn them for $4 or $5.
I sell crack rock. That's what I do.
Here is my painted Kingdom Ultra Magnus. And the thing is, I had to paint him. Yeah. Should I have had to have painted him? I don't think so. But you know what? That was my choice. As is, if you like the toy, you like the toy.
That reminds me. You mentioned earlier about how you repainted Springer's chest because of the random gritty damage they paint onto him, right?
Yep. Yeah, because I could not get the battle damage off of that.
What were you trying?
I was trying 91% isopropyl.
Okay. Going forward, this is going to be really weird. I got this from Toy Polloi. Brake cleaner and brake fluid. It'll actually get it completely off. Like, you're not going to want to leave the whole figure in there, but like scrubbing it off should work. Because I have a SWAT cat figure that I painted like crazy when I was a teenager, and it was terrible. And I've left him in brake fluid, and it's strong enough to where now it's actually stripping him down to his bare plastic. So it definitely works. So in smaller doses, with like a rag and rubbing it on the right spots and then wiping it away like 30 minutes to an hour later, like you'll get all that paint off down to bare plastic, and you won't have to repaint anything.
Huh.
Nice.
Interesting.
I don't do that stuff, so.
Yeah, I happened to see the one comment that he was saying that he's like, "Oh, you guys are too critical." I here's my thing. If I buy a toy, like let's say the Earthrise Blue Streak, and that roof breaks off so easily, if I break it, that might be, you can say maybe it was my big hands, whatever. But I know how careful I am with my own toys. So if I broke it, how well will an 8-year-old who the toy is also being sold to break it?
And there is a difference in materials because I don't know, I can't remember if you follow me on Instagram or not, but I recently picked up Burning and Skeleton Convoy from the Beast Wars line from Japan, which are all clear plastic. Those suckers are tough as nails. I can beat a man to death with those things. They're not going to break. But when I got that blue streak, I'm like, all right, Rodimus told me about this. Got to be ginger with this sucker. I shouldn't have to worry about that.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
I buy everything, so yeah.
Post a fan-made dub script to Beast Wars 2nd. I think they already have a fan sub, right?
Yeah, they were trying to get Gary Chalk on a fan dub they were working on, but I don't know what happened to that project.
Yeah, I know that they I think that recently they did a fan sub for Neo. I could be wrong. I'd like to be able to actually watch Neo and actually understand what's happening. It's
Beast Wars Police Academy.
Nice.
Wow.
I like Police Academy.
I will say this: if you know what you're doing with the transformation on Blue Streak or Smoke Screen, you're probably not going to end up breaking it. But if you're first time transforming it, you're not unaware, it's very easy to break the roof. That's how I would say, because Raziel brought that up.
I don't think I've had any issues with mine, that mold and everything. So
fully subbed on YouTube. Okay, so we can watch 2 and Neo. Excellent. Beast Wars Police Academy sounds gold.
I would watch that.
Well, I mean, the entire basis is Big Convoy went off all rogue during a battle and wind up causing another convoy to be stuck in mid-transformation, so they stuck him with a group of new recruits and told him to whip him into shape. So,
yeah.
Oh, wow. It is Police Academy.
I just like the fact that there's a penguin named Break who shoots a missile out of his butt, and there's a giraffe named Long Rack. That is great.
I have Long Rack. He's a giraffe. He's awesome. I mean, you're not going to make everybody happy, but I think they've done this trilogy, especially has been one of my favorite trilogies. Has been around for a long time, toy wise. The articulation has got better. Paint, is decent, but they do cut corners, and I do mention that in my reviews. They do have some hollowness. The third party just licking at the chops whenever the new stuff comes from Kingdom Siege. They were all excited because you're going to have to buy that stuff to make it look a lot better than what it does. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I think they got a Legacy series that's coming up after this Kingdom. I wonder what they're going to do. I mean, what are they going to do to make these better? Are they going to fill the gaps in? Are they still going to give the same articulation and paint as they did with this series? What can they do to make it still keep Transformers relevant?
I'm just flabbergasted at some of the decisions they've made. Like, yeah, okay, cool. We're finally getting a Beast Wars Grimlock again. That's not anywhere close to the original toy that he was based off of for some reason. And they're doing the Silver Bolt from Magnavox, of course, calling him Skywarp and not the Beast Wars 2, which I do appreciate. But he's just a repaint of Air Razor when Magnavox's entire point was to be a combiner. It's just like they're going the laziest route. Like the fact that all the Siege Megatrons are like, 7 or 8 of them now that are all the same mold with slight retooling. Like they couldn't make it work for that.
Yeah.
I was disappointed in the head sculpt on Earthrise, and I was disappointed on that darn paint job.
It's all right. Wait a minute. Let me put a new one out there.
I know. Well, they wanted to sell so many Megatrons, and now they're doing that spoiler pack with the whole Matrix harness.
So dumb and stupid.
I'm like, oh, yay, another Siege Megatron. And then they're doing the premium finish ones. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, I'm not paying $50 for a $20 toy.
Yeah, they got Prime, Bumblebee, and Megatron so far. But the Netflix Megatron has a premium paint job already, and it's good. Yeah. So why would you? What are they going to do to make that better than the Netflix one?
Make you buy it again?
It's just
anything in Takara's markets are made for Takara's markets.
Oh yeah, so definitely, yeah.
That you have to take into consideration. I hope,
that's true.
and there are a bunch of characters that I do wish that I hope that they make characters that I want to see toys like that Soundwave for the net. I wish that Soundwave was more available for people because that Soundwave was awesome.
The Netflix,
the Netflix Soundwave, yeah. Great figure, but it's already made from the Siege one, which was a lot of people really enjoyed. But I want to see them make a blaster. I want to see them make a Perceptor. I
think 86 movie line. I want the 86 studio series to make a blaster and a Perceptor.
There you go. Make blaster, and then I would like them to see them do the rest of the Target Masters.
Can we get like animation accurate basic figures that aren't riddled with a ton of superfluous detail that don't really need to be there? That'd be nice.
Like who?
Like I love the Grimlock. But they're saying, well, inspired by the 1986 movie, like he's got a whole bunch of random detail on there that, of course, ups the price and sculpting and all that. That they could have just made Wheelie not suck or filled in some of the gaps or given
Wheelie was an unnecessary accessory.
Yeah, exactly.
He was only there to recreate the scene where Grimlock comes in and Wheelie was there. What's great about that Wheelie figure is especially since I have the Takara Legends one, is that I can let my son play with that Wheelie figure.
Yeah.
Let Bam Bam play with it. But I will say this much: the Grimlock figure does. I like it because it's a great mix of the cartoon and the original G1 toy.
Well, I mean, I love the toy. It's a lot of fun to fiddle with. Like I actually plan on adding chrome to him, but it's just, come on, guys. You could have done better in a lot of areas here. You just kind of phoned it in. I mean, my boy's missing teeth, man.
That's the main one. That's the main
one.
I
didn't even notice that until somebody pointed out. But thinking of the chrome when you're talking about Leo, I guarantee you if they do all 5 of the Dinobots, I guarantee they'll release a box set with chrome.
And I will hate them for it.
We need Blitzwing. Studio Series 86 Blitzwing.
Yeah, Blitzwing would be good. Insecticons. We're getting Insecticons, I think.
There we go. We need the throttle bots.
Can I please get a Masterpiece Galvatron? Please. Been waiting for him.
Fans Toys has it.
I have the Fan Toys one, okay? He's good, but we've had 2 Ultra Magnuses, 3 Optimuses, 2 Megatrons, 2 Hot Rod / Rodimuses, and no Galvatrons. We got RC before we got Galvatron.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. I mean, the third season, you don't have any licensing issues. So they could have made, Takara could make Galvatron, Scourge, Cyclonus, because there's no, that's what's holding back some, like Jazz and Cliff Jumper. They're, the licensing, that's what's getting in the way most of the time. So they could make all season 3 bots.
Yeah,
because there was no
Galvatron. They could do a masterpiece if they really.
Oh yeah, Scourge. They could all do them. They could do them all.
I wonder if they're held back by the maybe they don't want to necessarily make him a space blaster again, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, his primary form's a cannon.
True.
Anybody who used the Space Blaster 9 times out of 10, even his kids were like, you know what, the Megatron was better. I'm just going to turn him into an angry cannon and then have him go rage at something out of nowhere. Like, it's just ridiculous how far they go with some of this stuff. Like, we still don't have Jazz. I think that's due to licensing issues. We're not even through with the season 1 Autobots. And then they turned back around. I was like, all right, well, we did this first version of Starscream. That kind of sucked. Then we did a second version. Not so bad. Now we're going to do a third one.
Did Bumblebee. They did Prime from MP10. And then, they're going back and rehashing. Takara, I don't have any faith that Takara's going to finish off the G1 series, season at all. Season 1 or 2, whatever. Thank God for third party. You can, fill in the gaps with those. But I don't see Takara. Takara's going to move on. I guarantee it will start. And I'm kind of, I love the Beast Wars masterpieces. And we haven't got any news from new masterpieces from that line as well.
Yeah, it's been about a year. The last one was Tigatron, and we've heard nothing from it. We haven't heard much in the way of masterpiece other than the fact that apparently we're getting a Jetfire and Skids.
Yeah, Skids is because of Japan, just because of that market. And Jetfire, that Jetfire was an old mold because it just didn't look right. He was standing right next to the MP10. And I don't think we'll see that. I don't think that's going to be. I think somebody just leaked that, and I don't think we'll. I hope we don't because it just didn't look right. It looked really old. So, to me,
my soul hurts. That's all I know is I just chasing all this stuff around. I mean, I actually like MP44. I actually prefer him to the others. He's more complicated, sure, but I'm a stickler for animation accuracy. And I know Jobby's not the biggest fan of him. I'm certainly not a big fan of the price, but. I still enjoy him for what he is. It comes with a lot of stuff. I just wish he had a, Peter Cullen voice mod.
MP Megatron is a gun, so Galvatron can be a cannon.
True.
Well, mainline, you'll never see Megatron as a gun again. I can tell you that right now. He's always going to be a tank or something or a spaceship. Yeah. I'm surprised that we got a Megatron, like an MP Megatron, that formed a gun.
Yes, we need gears. Definitely need gears.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of them we need. A lot of the mini bots,
Ron and Windshore. Well, I will say I liked the Titan's Return. Well, at least the Takara Legends colors for Windcharger and Brawn. But I mean, I could see why people would want redos of those characters, but nobody knows who those characters are, and I think that's probably why they haven't, revisited them yet. Yeah, but I'm sure they will because they need to keep the name trademark somehow.
I genuinely miss the Takara Legends to where we could get different paint schemes, and now we can't do that either.
I know that's something I'm missing. I wouldn't have minded importing some of these toys if they were more G1 cartoon accurate, if the Takara version. And I wonder what sparked them doing that. Was it cost?
More than likely.
It's always about cost.
Bunch of morons.
It's always about cost and everything. So
give this guy his hauler figure. He wants a green grapple.
I'm surprised Generation Selects has not put out a green hauler or a hauler yet.
Now they will.
Give it time.
It's been spoken into the ether. They will do it now, and they will charge you $60 for it.
Well, it'll be Generation Selects. Amazon exclusive or something where it's already $10 more because it's on Amazon, but with free shipping. But if you don't pre-order, you'll end up losing out on it, right?
Well, yeah,
no kidding.
True.
I've genuinely gotten lucky. The only one I missed out on was Skywarp, and frankly, I sold quite a bit of the stuff I didn't feel like I really needed anymore. So all of my Tetra Jets, with the exception of the Rainmakers, because nobody wanted them yet, I was able to sell because I really don't need it. The Earthrise versions are just fine for me. So,
yeah. Well, that's the thing is I for the most part for the characters, I do want the Earthrise mold. Like I have on that shelf back there, I have my Siege Ultra Magnus, and now I'm looking at the Kingdom one, and I'm going, kind of want to sell off the Siege one.
Uh-huh.
I have figures now that are like in the sell bin is going to begin soon.
I actually like the Tetra Jets a lot. I mean, I have all of them because better articulation than the Earthrise ones. No waist swivel. That really, yes. I'm like, come on now.
Yes, Lone Dragon's right. Ironhide and Prowl and Ratchet. getting those. They just sold out so quickly, and you never had the opportunity. And Dirge and Ramjet never went to I wanted to say Canada, the poor Canadians. Amazon did not fulfill their orders for Dirge and Ramjet for Canada. In the US they did, but not in Canada. So every single, I wouldn't say every, many people ordered in Canada to get Dirge and Ramjet, and they missed out. And then Thrust was a Target exclusive.
Yeah, that was kind of stupid.
And then Prowl and Ironhide were Amazon exclusive. So was Ratchet and
they did a Runabuck and Runabout. Why would you break up Runabuck and Runabout to make one a Target exclusive and another one?
And even Runabout's wave was limited because it was the final wave of Earthrise. So,
yeah, they've always done that. The last wave always gets screwed. That's a screw job with every last wave. It's hard to find them.
Exclusives are going to kill this entire doggone line.
Yeah, and that's what's bothering a lot of people, because I think I saw your one video where you were talking about how you did a whole toy hunt, and you found like you had to go between 10 different stores to get that one He-Man thing.
Yeah. Like I live in the Houston area. It's like 50 square. It's like a 50-mile diameter. And looking through it, I found like one thing I was looking for, and nothing else. And it's getting rid. And same thing is with Transformers specifically, more than anybody else. Well, except for maybe NECA and their Ninja Turtle line. But what type of maniac uses mainline characters as exclusives?
Yeah.
What were they thinking? Well, we're going to take Prowl and Ironhide. We're going to make them exclusives. What do you mean they're $400 now?
Especially Walgreens. I don't understand. I never understood why Walgreens got exclusives. They're getting another one too. Who is it? They're getting. I forget. They're getting another exclusive. I forgot who it was, but I don't understand why Walgreens is getting an exclusive.
Keep it up. They're going to get an exclusive whooping.
I saw someone guess it was a case of false competition. Hasbro was losing business to Cara. I don't know how true that is. I guess it has to do with the paint jobs.
But yeah, a lot of people are kind of. Luckily I get on there. I get the Amazon ones. I've gotten all of them. It sucks. The G.I. Joe. I've been doing classified. They've started to put out stuff now. But the Cobra Island stuff. It's hard to find. But thank God they're starting to put out some more stuff. But a lot of people quit G.I. Joe because they just couldn't find anything. Target had 3 of them, and then they're all gone. People were paying over $100, $150 for Cobra Troopers, Vipers and stuff, and it was just it was getting ridiculous. I think the Baroness was going over almost $200.
Yeah, like the NECA Toon April right now is over $200, and she retailed at $50.
Yeah. Wow. Red Alert, there you go. It's Red Alert's the new.
Red Alert is gonna be the next Walgreens exclusive. Speaking of NECA, someone in the chat was asking me to earlier to show off Larkin's Lair was kind enough to send me the kit for G2 Megatron. Well, I ordered G2 Megatron from Big Bad Toy Store, and I know it's not Big Bad Toy Store's fault, but FedEx has had my package now for a week in a delivery exception, and I don't know what's going on. And I'm waiting for my G2 Megatron along with my Black Arachnia and NECA Godzilla versus Biollante Godzilla. So I'm waiting for it. And I'm come on. I've been waiting a week since actually, is it a week? It's a week. Yeah, almost a week. Yeah, it's close to it'll be a week tomorrow. Wow. And I told him to ship it.
I didn't even know there was a G2 Megatron update kit. The heck.
It was his own.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's the Earthrise Megatron mold. That's the Earthrise, Megatron is done as G2 Megatron.
I haven't.
Well, Larkin's Lair put it out on his Etsy store, and he with 3D prints, but he sells out pretty quick of them. But it's a whole printed plastic kit of a tank the actual tank blaster that goes on his shoulder.
Yeah,
nice. And you put it together. It looks awesome. It's, it goes onto the peg on the back of G2 Megatron, and it replaces that piece on the front. So it becomes his tank turret.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. That's pretty neat. Oddly enough, there's some dude for lack of a better word, I'd say third party, who what he does is he's a massive Dinosaurs fan. His name on Instagram is Turtle Master Customs. What he does is he sculpts these action figures in like ZBrush, and then he prints them out with a 3D printer. Then he sands them down and makes traditional toy molds, and then makes traditional plastic out of them. Like that's really innovative, and like his stuff goes for a lot of money, like almost as much as the actual vintage stuff. Like I never even thought anybody could do that. And here's this dude just pumping it out, and nobody wants to work with him because we don't know if you can handle this property.
Wow, he could in turn be hired to bring back some G1 reissues that could never return, like Wheeljack or
Autobots
or Sunstreaker. You know, reverse engineer some of them, find a really good condition version of the toy and reverse engineer it. You know,
that's what Mattel did for their He-Man commemorative series.
Wow. See,
yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, actually, the Faker, when he came out, people noticed he didn't have the sticker on his chest underneath the armor. That's because Mattel, they got a hold of the mold, and the one they got a hold of, the vintage toy, didn't have the sticker, so they didn't even remember that it went with there. They reverse engineered the mold, put out the commemorative issue, and that's when we can tell the distinction. But it's just, God, these people, I don't know why they don't hold on to things or at least like scan them and keep a file of them. It's really freaking goofy. Half these companies don't know what they own.
I think Trent he's that's true. I think it is. It's already started to revolutionize a lot of it.
It will whenever they have higher tolerance issues. Because one of my problems, I have two problems with 3D printing. Number one, the texture, like it drives me nuts. But secondly, like you got to be really gentle with these things, man. They will snap in a heartbeat.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
they got a run feel to them. But I think, once they get it down pat, I think it's going to be, it's going to help a lot.
There you go. Bring back the G1 Headmaster molds if they could. That's probably why they went with a retro. The Titans Return with the premium colors for the retro Headmasters, which I actually have 4 of them over here. I have Chrome Dome, Hardhead, Snapdragon, and Weird Wolf. Yeah.
Never got them. I have all the Titan Return ones. I was fine with those.
Yeah, the kits to replace Ironhide and Ratchet's feet for the Earth mode. I actually ordered the Studio 115, which is actual. I think that's 3D printed. I think it is 3D printed. But to replace the back end so that he actually has not only have feet, but they have because I have Ratchet, but I don't have Ironhide and Prowl. So I have not taken them out of the package. Thank you, Kato, by the way.
I snapped Prowl's gun. I got the Ironhide and Prowl, and I snapped that gun. So it looks like a handgun now. So it's
well, I have a spare because I remember I disassembled my smoke screen and my blue streak to make the blue streak.
Yeah.
So I have a spare gun, and if I ever had to, I could.
That's fine. I mean, I use it as a little pistol. It looks like a little pistol now.
Or you can order the non-F kit.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, I may do that.
I actually did that for Ratchet as well because non-F just put out Red Fists and Waist for Ratchet.
I'll have to check that out. Where do you get non-F? Where do you get is it TF Safari? Do you order your stuff from TF Safari? Or just
TF Safari has like Dr. Wu.
Matrix Workshop. I'll order most of my stuff from TF Safari.
Where are they located?
China.
Okay. Yeah. How long does it take to get their stuff?
15 business days, give or take.
Okay, I started ordering some third party through Store Z, and I've had I've had pretty good response time with them. But I was just curious because I'm still learning some of this stuff, and I was trying to find Skateboard Gorilla, and Safari had it for a while. But I'm like, is this legitimate or am I being grifted here? So
no, they're good. I think they're legitimate. Show Z, I order from Show Z, so I usually say about 15 business days usually around.
Show Z, I've never heard them.
They're pretty good from what I've seen.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
I have to check them out.
You have to wait a while, though.
Yeah. TF Safari has been pretty good, but I think, non-F is right here in America. So, but he makes his own. They make their own parts here in America.
I'll have to check them out then. I've never ordered anything from non-F.
They've been pretty quick about their stuff. Like the non-F kit is what I ordered for Grimlock for the teeth.
Yeah, you told me. Yeah,
and the all the hands and stuff. And what else? Non-F did what other kit did they? The missiles for the Earthrise Seekers.
Okay.
And I got the what other kits did I get from Non-F? I got the gap fillers for Hoist and Trailbreaker.
Oh, they needed them really bad.
Bless you.
Thank you. Who
Ironhide, Siege, Ironhide, and Ratchet, they all needed gap fillers.
Yeah, well, that you have to get from like the TF Safari people, but yeah.
I have been so tempted to pull the trigger on Zeta Toys Superitron, but God, every time I see the fact that the main body is just a separate piece, it drives me away each time.
You don't like parts forming? I love parts forming.
No, I don't like parts forming if I can help
I
it.
do. No, man, that's the future, man. That's a good. I don't just check out TFC stuff. They're all floppy messes, man.
Thank you very much, Frankie VTech. Thank you for the super chat. Yes, bringing us together. And here's the thing, and I just want to say this because, having a wonderful personality like Lio on my channel, and I'm saying this because I tease you about it sometimes. And
Constantly.
Yeah. Because a lot of times, because I try to bring people together if I can. And if, I don't like to argue with other channels and fight with other people. Instead, we all come here together and we're chilling out. We could talk, say our grievances about the shows that we love, say the things that we love about the toys we love or the shows that we love, and talk about whatever. And
talk about what we hate about stuff.
Lio is tends to point out the flaws sometimes that we don't see, and sometimes he can get into arguments with people that I may have been friendly with, in the past, because what, I don't believe in. I say, hey, if someone like Emgo or Thu wanted to join in, or if Retro Blasting or heck, I don't care. Like in other words, we want to talk Transformers and He-Man and geeky nerdy stuff. Come on, let's I'm cool with it. So
the only caveat I ever make on things like that, like the people you just mentioned, I don't have a single problem with anybody you just mentioned. I teased about Imgo once because he picked on me a little bit in the Lio Convoy Masterpiece review because the thing looks like it has a genetic disorder. But the only time I'll just be like, is when one of the people has done something so immoral, like not even related to like nerd sphere, but just immoral actions. I'm like, nah. And for the record, that doesn't really come down to political values. That always comes down to what is the personal choice they've made that's just abhorrently wrong. Okay, that's what he's done. I don't want anything to do with him. And if he shows up, I'm going to tear into him because I'm a type A personality. I was taught don't put up with crap and you want to deal with crap. But apparently I wasn't taught the aspect of if you don't put up with crap, you're going to have some clown show up and try to test that. They test it and they lose. That's how that works.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't go out of my way to pick fights with them.
No, you don't.
And I don't need to. I don't have time for it. I have a wife and kids, And if I find that poor backseat Baldwin, you're it's because Deluxe is he's a chill dude. That's the way Deluxe works. That's why I try to get you to talk.
Well, you were just mentioning I don't have time. I don't want to argue. If people argue with me and in my comment section, I just don't. I say you have a good. You have a wonderful day, because you're not going to change my mind. I'm not going to change your mind, and that's just the way it is. But we can still we can still talk about it as adults and express our feelings. Just like you said, it brings people together. People have different opinions, and that's great. And I respect yours, and I hope you respect my opinion. But I don't have time to argue with you. I'm a grown man. I don't want to argue.
I think what Lio's talking about is how certain individuals have that are online and they've done things that are kind of like all right, I'm going to stay away from you.
Yeah, I understand.
Or you find people that are online and their entire channels are about dividing people.
Yeah, and the thing is, Rodimus says he won't get involved. That's fair. He won't. He didn't say he won't make some popcorn and watch me do it, though. That's like, man, this is free.
He said free entertainment. I'm not going to pass up free entertainment.
Because a lot of times I'm working on something else.
Uh-huh.
Right now, I've spent 3 hours tonight, but I needed a break because I'm working on a script. And you know what? I got 113 people, and I'm sure many of you want to know what my next Transformers discussion is because it's been a little while since I've worked on it. But my kids were sick this week, and
life happens.
It happens. I mean, life happens. But I've been working on stuff, but I've also been painting stuff, and I'm working on Skywarp. I want to work on Skywarp. And He's a character that I wanted to cover for a while. He's not in much, but the stuff that he is in, it's significant. So trying to make a worthwhile script for the character. I don't have time to deal with the drama, like the whole Kevin Smith situation with him being He-Man fan. Now that's for content for my second channel, RodimusPrimal Talks. That's content for there, but it gives me an avenue to rant there. But I don't have time to deal with every other weird nitpick thing. Right? There are things that are worthwhile me talking about. There are things though that, okay, I need to work on this Transformers script, because Transformers seems to be it has been my bread and butter now for what, 5 years, 6 years. Mm-hmm. So if I want to talk about He-Man, I don't have time to rip and tear like Lio does.
I just want to say thank you, Rayon. I did appreciate, he was commenting on one of my reviews and everything. And like he just said, we have different opinions and we can respect that. That's it. You go on about your day, and that's I can talk with guys, and I can respect that, and I love talking like that because you're always going to have different opinions about something, but you got to keep it adult-wise.
Yeah, and that's fine if the opinion is like, well, I prefer the G1 toy line. The other guy's like, well, I prefer modern. Well, congratulations, it's a subjective value, and that's fine.
You have a good day. You have a wonderful day.
Exactly, that's completely fine. The issue comes down to, well, I don't like this. And now I am going to try to ruin your existence because you said something mean about a toy I personally like. That's the type of idiots I somehow keep running into. I wish I knew how I kept running into them. And I genuinely wish people who have an issue with me had a legitimate issue with me.
Yeah. But when you sit there and try to change someone's opinion or mind, you're just going up a hill because you're not going to change.
The biggest problem that we're running into right now, because of this whole online space and because of how the internet has been working and how Twitter has become an animal into of it itself, is the fact that, okay, you have these reactionary channels, and I don't want to name names because they're pretty big, and some of them I watched for a short stint and I stopped watching them after a while because they just got crazy, like went off the deep end. And some of them are just, I want to bash my head against them. And some of them I genuinely like, I agree with them sometimes, and others I don't. Where was I going with this? Because I had a whole train of thought that I was going there with this. But a lot of those other channels that are out there, they have an opinion, but what happens is it gets misconstrued by these Twitter animals.
Yeah.
And they start calling you names. Like, I have ridiculed the outfit for Teela in the new Masters of the Universe cartoon. I don't like what the outfit looks like. I think it takes away from way the character looks like.
It doesn't even have the right detail on it. It doesn't even have like the curly cues.
My wife's first reaction to her, I said, "Oh, here's a still from the new show. Here are some characters. Oh, this is Teela." She's like, "Looks like a dude." Looks like a dude. That was her reaction. That was my wife's reaction. Now, I can't say that on Twitter, but that was her first response. A character doesn't look like a character, or doesn't necessarily look like what they're supposed to. Come on, that's. Like that's a character should feel like proper, but then again, it could be a bad image, or it could be this. But then because I ridicule the image, I'm now called this, I'm called that, I'm called a monster. I'm a monster. Right. And they start comparing me to a funny mustache man because of that. Like, what?
Yes, Funny Mustache Man was well known for his opinion on cartoons.
That's why I quit Twitter a long time ago. Twitter is trash. I'm on Facebook, and I'm on Facebook, which Facebook, getting that way.
Facebook has become just as toxic.
And
I'm in Facebook.
Instagram. I love Instagram because I love posting my pictures and everything. But I like Facebook and Instagram. But Twitter, I will never go back on Twitter. It's just garbage.
Yeah, I'm only on there because I use it to try and support the channel, and a lot of people like to follow me on there. But you know what?
Maybe I should get back on there. I need to get more followers.
Thank you again, Saichan. I really appreciate that.
That was awesome.
I really do. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Respect others. Don't give them fuel. Have a different opinion. That's great. Exactly. You have a different opinion, and we're going to have different opinions. That's what makes us human.
Yeah. It'd be boring. If we all had the same opinion, it'd be freaking boring.
Yeah.
That is true.
Uh-oh. You said something there.
Yeah, I said that is true. I'm agreeing with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's like, what's he gonna say? Oh no. No. Like I haven't been on Twitter for on an actual main account. I have like a side one that I keep spamming Twitter support with. I got suspended over a glitch, and not once have they actually tried to fix it because Twitter's ran by a bunch of monkeys. And I don't mean that like in a negative reactionary way. I mean that as in the actual animals I am 100% sure are running Twitter.
Well, we're so about trying to make people, it was so crazy on Twitter that if you didn't like a certain cartoon, you were now labeled as right wing or alt-right.
Dude, trust me, dude, I know. I was critical of Roar, and ever since I've had this one dude, like, I've lived in his head rent free, and apparently I'm now a racist. I am now hung up on nostalgia, and I'm a big mean person. I'm Hispanic.
Well, you are.
I am mean. Even my grandma will tell you that, even though I'm her favorite.
You have a tendency to be a jerk a lot.
I'll be right back.
I won't deny that, but there's a difference. My jerkness is not the type that comes out of nowhere. You got to provoke me, or you got to get stupid with me. I don't just show up and say, "Hey, you're a butthead." There's always some, like 9 times out of 10, I'm minding my own business and somebody tries to get stupid with me. And I try, like, this actually happened recently in a different section of the internet where I'm trying to calmly explain to somebody what was being said, what the intention was, and the facts of a matter. And the dude kept pushing and pushing and pushing, ignoring all the reality and objective evidence to where I just had enough. I'm like, boy, do your parents just like leave and not come back? Were you raised by wild animals that didn't teach you the basics of survival? What's your damage here? So, like, okay, so I'm suspended on Twitter for a glitch. I'm currently in Facebook jail for 2 weeks because I have some other dude who's like obsessed with me. He gets alt IDs and he shows up and tries to cause trouble, but he's realized I throw a lot of heat back, more than he's able to take. So he'll report the post because I'm being mean to him, and it's on lockdown now. So going forward, they've these alt IDs that show up to try to give me or Michael Fringe from Retro Blasting grief. They automatically block me because they don't want to engage with me. They're terrified of me. So I count that as a win. But I am on Instagram, and oddly enough, very rarely do I post anything quote unquote negative on Instagram. Like lately, I've been posting like pictures.
Instagram is where I post my most positive stuff, and yes, I get the most positive reaction from. Twitter is where I actually have gotten attacked a couple of times for posting, like on Memorial Day. I posted a Transformers picture on all of my social media accounts of a couple of Autobots, and they were all saluting, and Hot Rod was holding the American flag accessory that I got from Fire Talks. And it was more so just Happy Memorial Day, honoring those who never came home. It was innocent. It's okay. The holiday it's not really a happy holiday, especially if you have family who are in the military,
mm-hmm,
and especially military that have friends that didn't come home. Like my brother is a Marine, and he came home. He it took him a couple of years before he finally told stories. Patriot Prime. He was in Iraq, right? So I'm just giving I don't care what your politics are. This is a Memorial Day post, innocent, and I got it retweeted and attacked, and this was all this stuff on Twitter. I just blocked them. Yeah. I said, you know what? I'm not going to deal with your negativity. I don't need it.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a difference between how you operate and because I just make fun of them. That's just who I am, man. I've learned a long time ago. These people really enjoy people blocking them because it makes them feel like they've won. But if you can embarrass them and make fun of them and make them realize that their opinion ultimately doesn't matter to you because you think they're a clown, that drives them nuts. So that's how I operate. And I don't expect everybody to do so, because here's the thing. If we were in a situation where we're dealing with an actual, like, legit scumbag, and you know the type of people I'm talking about here, I don't think you'd sit on the sidelines. I'm thoroughly convinced that if you needed to, you'd throw in too. But that's a different matter than just people getting mad on Twitter for the dumbest deposit. I had one time, I had somebody show up in my comments angry at me because I said, and I quote, "Shipping is cringe." And apparently there's this hardcore Cat Dora shipper that lost their mind about me. Oh, this is a toxic person. He's a hater. He hates gay people. I'm like, I hate any sort of shipping because that's just how I am, because I'm an old man. Please go away.
You wanted to keep things civil, right? That was the thing.
In that case, I'm just like, who even are you? I don't know you. I don't play around on your side of the internet. Go back. Get on out of here. Get the broom and sweep them out. Thank you.
And I also got attacked because in my cliff jumper video on Twitter was the cliff jumper video. I didn't get into the politics of why Casey Kasem left the show. I just said he felt offended about the one character, and so he felt he needed to leave the show. And so in both the Blue Streak video and the cliff jumper video, I mention it. Now in my Triptychon video, I just happened to say, recently, I said that the reason they made Abdul Vakadi was because they were lampooning what was his name, Gaddafi, right, because he was a murderous dictator because he killed his own people, right? Mm-hmm. So I just said murderous dictator Abdul Fakadi. I've seen comments and on Twitter of like, that's a lie, blah blah blah. And it's like, dude, I don't care. Like, I make a very very very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Like flatline statement, and I don't get into the craziness of it.
You made an objective statement about an incident that happened.
Exactly.
And I've ran into similar things. I've had people show up and like, well, Thundercats was made just to sell toys. I'm like, objectively, no, that's not what it was made for.
Look who we got in the chat, guys.
Who we got in the chat?
GF, G1, Mike Blanchard. Why don't you say what your podcast is, dude? Good people.
I have to say, as far as anything military, like Patriot Prime, I did serve too as well. I served 8 years in the Army, and I have the most respect for any military. And if you have to put down the military in any way, you will definitely not enjoy my channel or Patriot Prime channel. So, yeah, I mean, if you get flack on just showing your respect for people that died for this country. I mean, you're a joke. So, I mean, if you're getting flack for, like I said, showing respect for people that died for this country, come on now. I mean,
I know.
Americans hate Americans the most. Americans really hate Americans the most, and it's
the only thing we hate more are Canadians.
I didn't say that. I love Canadians.
I wouldn't say that because some of the best people in the chat here are Canadians.
We make exceptions here.
Love Leo Convoy does not speak for me. I love Canadians.
I have a very objective, reasonable reason why I dislike Canadians, because they call ham Canadian bacon and they've ruined my pizzas, and that is unacceptable.
I love you, Canada. Hey, Frankie, good job, man. How long were you in the Navy, man? Those dark Canadians.
He'll comment back, but no, for me, we have something here in New Jersey that you've probably never heard of. It's called pork roll.
I've heard of it.
That sounds insinuating.
So.
It's very similar. It's imagine Canadian. I would say Canadian bacon crossed with, it's not bacon. That's right. Yeah, but no, pork roll would be. They actually wanted it. People in North Jersey call it Taylor ham, but it's actually it's a pork product.
Spiced ham.
It's like a spiced ham. Yeah, it's a really really good. It tastes good on a pork roll, egg and cheese sandwich. It's good stuff, but it's only in Jersey and it's made in Trenton. So
nice, Horndal. Thank you for your service, Horndal. That's good.
Indeed,
That's
my
awesome.
old man was a Vietnam vet. He was in the United States Navy for 30 years, so I get it.
Nice.
Geekcast Radio, last 12 years.
Nice.
He's been podcasting too.
Nice.
Very cool. Very cool.
Very cool.
I think I could be wrong, Mike, but were you on the call with me with Hasbro, or was that? I could be wrong because I knew there was a few of us that were like there was three different chats. And I know that you've interviewed a couple of different people, the same people, and ham in general is great. As you know what's crazy? I don't like Canadian bacon. I'm actually not a fan of Canadian bacon.
You know what? I prefer ham over turkey at Thanksgiving.
Heathen.
I'm just saying, I like it a lot.
We are now mortal enemies.
It is so good, man. Turkey is dry, man. Ham is good.
I don't know what is happening to people nowadays. Thank you very much for the super chat, Princeton Phalanx.
Thank everybody. I want to thank everybody for your service. I just want to tell everybody. I know I didn't tell everybody, but
bacon rules.
Bacon does rule. Bacon does. Come on now.
Bacon.
I think bacon can make everything better. Even ice cream. I think bacon can make ice cream better. It can make everything better.
I actually had. Have you ever been to the Cheesecake Factory? They have a bacon cheeseburger sandwich that has 2 different types of bacon. Oh yeah. That's good stuff. I had that as a lettuce wrap.
Thank you for joining RodimusPrimal and the Bacon Cast.
Man, I love a bacon. I love a bacon and mustard sandwich. Man.
You see, this is and it's 10:15 at night in my time zone. So
it's 9:15. You said you're in Houston, Leo?
Yep, I live in the Houston area.
Yeah, I've been to Arkansas, so we're central.
I'm on a low carb diet, so I've been having I'll have bacon and eggs or sausage and eggs and.
Oh, they said Burger King had a bacon sundae a few years. Really?
Yeah, they did.
Wait.
We go from He-Man, Transformers, Twitter drama, and bacon. That's where our day is going.
Because we're all old.
Yeah, I'm old and fat, so I love some bacon. So.
See, this is what happens on a chill stream. We all chill and we all start talking about stuff, and
Well, if you mention bacon, everybody's just gonna start going, "Yeah, I love some bacon." That's all you gotta do. I didn't know they had a Sunday, man. That would have been really good.
Yeah, Denny's did it for a while too, but real quick, since we got a couple other.
Whoa!
Yeah,
10:15 in the morning.
Southeast. He's got to be. Where's he at?
Other side of the pond.
Yeah, he's got to be over by.
I believe you're in the Philippines, right?
Philippines or Malaysia or something. Or?
Yeah.
Or is Malaysia?
That's right. You think he's in Malaysia?
Real quick, since I know your guest here, Mr. Name escapes me, Deluxe. I know you're into third party. Have you picked up any third party Beast Wars stuff?
Yes, Transart. I picked up their 3. They got the Gorilla or Primal. I got the Primal. I got their Cheetor, and I just picked up their Ravage.
Yeah, I missed out on the first 2, so I have the Ravage. He's really neat.
Oh, heck yeah! So the magnets for the guns.
Brilliant! It's freaking brilliant, man.
Yep. I know he's really. The alt mode is
from Malaysia.
Yeah, you throw that away, but man, articulation, the sculpt and the paintwork. Oh, it's phenomenal. It's a great piece.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Show Z Store has a reorder of the Leopard Commander. I hate that name.
It's a good one too. It's a good Cheetor. It's a good one.
Yeah, he looks good, but God, that name, I hate it. I hate it so doggone much because he's not a leopard, and that drives me crazy. Yeah. But there's another site that's like doing a pre-order for Skateboard Gorilla. I guess he's getting released too. Now that dude, I am really looking forward to.
Yeah, he's good too. He's easy transformation, but fun. Great blast effects and stuff and everything. He's got a lot up feature too as well for the gun. Yeah, it's a good one. Transart's done some really good stuff.
Yeah, it looks like at some point they did a smaller scale toy or show accurate version of Optimus too that I did pick up at some point.
Transart.
Welcome to the chat. Happy birthday, Aiden.
Now, Transform Element did some little legends. They got Scorponok, Rat Trap, and Black Arachnia. If you do legends, I'm a big legends.
Yeah, I did the Toy Worlds Megatron, much to my chagrin.
Thank you, Bert.
Okay. Yeah, I'm all about third-party legend stuff. Yeah, but I think that's the only MP Beast Wars that they've made so far third-party. I take that back. They did the Red Dragon. That beautiful. Yeah. They did that, and they did the blue one now. The recolor for Red Dragon.
Cryotech. Yeah.
Yeah. He's fixed to come out. What's that company? That's I forgot who that was. Perfect Effect, I think, did one, and then another third-party company did a Red Dragon.
Weijing, I think.
There you
it's
go.
Called.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I picked them up at TFCon, and dude, he is gorgeous. I just don't have a place to put him yet because he's so freaking big.
Yeah. You were at TFCon? Why you say hi? I was at TFCon, man.
I don't know who you are until this morning.
Which one did you go to?
Oh, man, I went to the one in Chicago. I went to the one in Virginia. And I think I went to one before that, but I can't remember. And I'm hoping to go to the one this year.
North Carolina? Did you go to the North Carolina one? You mean?
Not the North Carolina one. Doggone it.
Oh, you're talking about Reston. Yeah, Reston.
Yes, that one. Yes. That one.
The last two, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the last one was Reston, yeah.
I'm hoping to go to the one this coming year. Yeah, I'm hoping to go to that one.
We're going. Primal's going.
I know he is.
I'm going to Baltimore.
Yeah, and you've already asked. You've already asked if I'm going to be wearing the horrifying lion mask, and now that I know that you're filming, I might.
Well, I wouldn't be so mean as to like put you out there.
No, but it would be funny. Like, oh God, did you hear about that guy wearing the lion mask? It looks like he had a stroke. People are running screaming from it.
So, Mike, I wanted to ask this question: are you talking about the G1 toy itself, or are you talking about the Commander? Because I want that Commander class toy.
Oh, it looks so good.
I want it so bad.
You know they're gonna do a Primus repaint. You know it.
Yeah, I want that toy. I definitely want that toy.
Well, Nick, say hi. When you come by, say hi, all right?
I'm going to try. Was it March of 2022?
Yeah, Los Angeles. I'm trying real hard to go out to the one out in Los Angeles, too.
That one would be the one to go to, probably, because I'll probably get all the voice actors more voice actors than normal.
Probably, yeah. I'm trying.
I want that one, dude. I'm telling you, I want that Rodimus Prime toy. I'm fiending for it, man. I want to replace that.
Australia has it. Australia. I think Australia already put it out.
I know they did. I know they did. You know, I told Hasbro Direct, I was like, thank you. Thank you.
I think they found actually Galvatron and some of the Wave 3 have been found in the States too as well in stores. So
you know what I'm hoping Hasbro does if this Beast Wars reissue works well? I'm hoping for a reissue of the original Transmetals so we can have a Megatron that won't break.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And with black plastic.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I guarantee that I guarantee you Transart will make a Transmetal Megatron.
Dude, I'm so on board for that.
I haven't heard anything. I think they're supposed to be making not Black Arachnia, but the other spider. Tarantulas. There was, I don't know if it was Transart, but someone put out a early version of it. I don't know who it was. I think they sold it. I think someone bought it and actually going to put it out. But it's supposed to be Transmetal. The spider.
Yeah, it's no breaking Megatron. We deserve an actual Beast Machine's cloaked Megatron.
Snuggie Megatron.
You know, I just for one of my Silverbolt video, I had to watch a lot of Beast Machines, and I was
turned off.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Rampage. What Horndow said, I know you're big Rodimus. I'm excited for Rodimus Prime as well, but I was hoping the Kingdom Commander class would have been either Rampage or Death Charge. I was really hoping for one of those because it was Kingdom and it should have been a Beast Wars figure. I know we're getting Primal. Cool. I think the 86 Studio series should have put out Rodimus Prime or Rodimus Prime, to be honest.
You know what I would like to see? I would like to see like an animation accurate Predaking.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Definitely.
Are you talking about G1 or are you talking about the Prime
Studio?
one?
You know I'm talking about G1, baby.
Of course.
That's my fix. I love Prime. Don't get me wrong.
What did you think of the I didn't get the power of the Prime's Predaking. What did you think of it?
I think overall it was okay, but here's the thing to me. Like, big fan of mecha. Any mech that has a lion on its chest is an instant win for me.
Oh,
but
yeah.
The mane,
of course, I'd expect that.
His mane is so small. It removes any impressiveness from the chest piece. And the hollow back killed me, man. Like, come on. It looks good, especially when you get the upgrade kits, which again goes back to my problem. But all I needed was a bigger mane and legs that worked right in the lion mode, and everything would have been fine.
Leo, are you in on the Kang toys for Predaking?
No, because of a couple reasons. Number one, they're a bit too stylistically different from what I would like.
They are stylized. They are really stylized.
And he's going to be massive, my dude.
Yeah. I'm worried because I've got the 3 that have been out, and they've already got the 4. They showed early renders of the Razor Claw. We haven't seen any combined and they're having 6 because they're making Primal as the shorts or something, or their his waist area, and they have yet to still show us any combined picks. So getting kind of worried about this.
We're gonna treat the new He-Man like we treat Beast Machines.
I unironically enjoy Beast Machines, and I will defend it.
I can understand the animation
fine.
The animation is better, a lot better than Beast Wars.
Storyline isn't though. The Beast Wars storyline is a whole lot.
I was more, you know what it was? I think it was that it was very depressing. Number one, but it was. I think it had to do with I don't know if it was it was
Dan DiDio of all people. Dan DiDio telling Bob Skier, Beast Wars is too continuity heavy. Don't do any research. We want these to be brand new takes on these characters, even though it's a continuation. Doggone moron.
When Primal was a hippie, I was kind of like, okay,
maybe so. But that Optimus Primal is ultimately where the very first, and to the best of my research, the very first third-party Transformer was ever made from. There is a bootleg company that put out toys under a brand called Animism Defender, which were upscale jumbo bootlegs of Beast War toys, except they did a Beast Machines Optimus Primal. It was based on no other mold that was in mold accurate to the show in Beast and Robot mode, but it transformed almost exactly like Transmetal Optimus Primal. Wow. To the best of my research, that is the very first quote-unquote third-party Transformer, because that was made in 2001.
Wow.
Right?
I thought the original they started off with upgrade kits, actually, like the Ultra Magnus.
That was in 2000. That was in 2006, though.
Yeah. I thought that was originated. I think Cliff Jumper, they did a upgrade kit for Cliff Jumper.
Hey, Brian.
So
Brian's in the chat.
RodimusPrimal. Actually, they did a upgrade kit for Fans Project did a upgrade kit for Rodimus. Mm-hmm. Actually, our Hot Rod changed into RodimusPrimal.
Right. Yeah, I remember that kit for the classics Rodimus mold.
Yeah, and the Ultra Magnus to turn into
I didn't like the way they looked. I did not like the way they looked.
Blocky. I mean, it was it was 2006. It was the first of it. They were really
early stuff. People have been doing leagues better, but you know what? They paved the way.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's what that's where third party started. Well, before Leo said that, that's where I thought mainly third party started was from the upgrade kits from all those and everything.
I thought that's where they started too as
thing.
well. I didn't know that they did that in the Beast stuff.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Fans Project Protector and City Commander. Well,
that's the Ultra Magnus and the Hot Rod or upgrade kits and everything.
There was a third party Devastator in 2000. Interesting.
Really?
I would love to
they
see
made
this.
knockoff. They made knockoffs back in the day.
Oh yeah, I don't think third party. I don't think they're. Well, I mean, you have to tell me who it is. I don't remember a third party Devastator back in 2000.
But I could be wrong.
Oh, speaking of Shattered Glass Rodimus, I actually still have sealed in box. I haven't taken them out. Is the Power of the Primes Rodimus Unicronus. I've heard. I didn't like
Powder Primes. I thought Powder Primes was one of the worst lines to come out in a while.
The stickers were terrible, and I have over there the Nemesis Prime as well. But I have the Netflix Nemesis Prime, and I took him out of the box. And I enjoyed him because I like the Siege mold. The way I look at the Siege mold is that Siege Optimus.
Yeah,
we are not the Decepticons.
I just actually finished. I had the Shattered. That was my first BotCon. Was the Shattered Glass BotCon in 2008. I actually just finished the last one for that whole box set and the add-ons. So I did the Shattered Glass Rodimus and everything. How much can I get for Shattered Glass Rodimus anyway? So
I don't know. I was curious about the same thing about the two Nemesis, the Power of the Primes, the Nemesis characters. Because I was thinking about selling because they're still in the box. It's like
God, some of the things these things are going for in the aftermarket are ridiculous.
Yeah, the BotCon stuff. But I think they're doing the Shattered Glass stuff now for with Hasbro. They've shown 3 of them so far.
Like this one right here, the Shattered Glass Ratchet.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, because he was a kit. He was the kit, and everything. Those things are really hard to find. Those are worth a lot of money.
Right.
The kits that you had to do on the
Yep.
or you had to make
shattered glass ratchet because
Yeah.
this is medics. That's right. This is medics. Because the
$650.
medics I had to
God,
literally
dog.
make out of a first aid. So because you couldn't get a blank first aid body apparently, so it was just cheaper to go ahead and do that, but hey, I'm sure Brandon in the chat is going to enjoy that. So once the paint dries and I can work, get the clear coat and stuff like that on it.
Man, he said it was $650 for shattered glass. I know the Prime is going for a lot too. That's
wow.
That Beast Wars box set from 2006 is worth a lot of money too.
I'm gonna be the odd man out and tell you I flat out hate shattered glass with a fiery passion.
Really? Oh, I love it.
I hate it. I hate it for the same reason why I hate evil Superman. I'm tired. Like I've seen What If character, but different, done once well, and that was in a comedy, and it was Negaduck.
I hope they do a whole line for shattered glass. To be honest, man, I would love it. I think it's a cool concept. It's a fresh concept, I think. But I could understand why people don't like it too. So
I like the idea behind a Nemesis character being an evil clone, because if it's done as a short, quick stint, doesn't necessarily have to be long.
Yeah.
Faker in the first season of Masters of the Universe, right? Everybody wanted to see him return at least once.
Yeah.
The same thing with a Prime Problems. Optimus is my fan canon for Nemesis Prime, is that he was rebuilt after a Prime Problem by Dr. Arkaville into Nemesis Prime. So that's my my headcanon for Nemesis Prime. So, but as a one-off character comes back, what's going on? How come we thought we got rid of this guy? We have to kill him. It's kind of like Goliath and Carr, in Knight Rider.
I've never seen Knight Rider.
What?
I have always and always will be an animation guy more than I will ever be live action.
Knight Rider, man, that was the show, man. That was like
I've always been more preoccupied with animation, man. It's the artist in me.
Well, it came, Knight Rider came on prime time, so it was like my parents were also watching it too.
Yeah,
so they were watching Knight Rider and Airwolf and A-Team and we lost Deluxe.
MASH.
And so and Carr Carr's first appearance was voiced by Peter Cullen as the evil. Nice. Yeah, Peter Cullen voicing the evil version of Kit. Kit was awesome because it was a souped up Pontiac Trans Am that could jump and it could do a whole bunch of cool stuff, and it was for state of the art. I would love to see a crossover Transformers with Knight Rider with a few there, and I've had ideas. So you could do Knight Rider as a car as a Transformer. You could do Carr as a redeco. You could do Goliath as an evil truck. Make that maybe out of the Earthrise Optimus mold, and then you need a truck with a trailer that's also a Transformer that's big enough for Kit in car mode to go into the trailer, because that was the thing with the car was like on the highway, Kit would just come in, the base would be on the truck. So,
well, they just got done with a My Little Pony crossover, so I'm sure you'll get it eventually.
But that would be a good crossover.
Might have a fair point there. Like at this point, I've realized every crossover we dealt with in the past few years has just been some corporate nonsense that is all absolute hot garbage, just made to try to sell us back our own nostalgia. And they're always done by clowns that don't understand dick all.
I don't care about the story. The storylines are supposed to be one-off stupid stories anyway. They're just gonna be like, okay, whatever. But the toy itself is always a cool idea. I'm more interested in the toy. I don't care. I don't need an in-universe version, like in-universe reason why Kit and all that. Just give me. It would be cool, like the Ghostbusters, Ecto 1, and the Back to the Future DeLorean.
Yeah.
That's, to me, that was great. That was.
I just want the stories to not suck. I'm not even asking for like we have to figure out how these characters fit within the lore of G1. Like even if it's just a one-off story, at least make it comprehensible. At least make it to where the characters don't suck or make really dumb decisions that aren't even within their normal span of intelligence. I'm asking for literally the bare minimum here, and I can't even seem to get that.
Yeah. That's why a lot of us don't read. That's why a lot of us don't read it. You know, I don't think I read I don't think I know I haven't read the My Little Pony one.
Please don't. Your soul will hurt.
Is it that bad?
From what I've seen, yes, it's exactly what you think it would be. Well, let's make everybody love each other through kindness and friendship when there's a literal war going on here. Doggone stupid.
Transformers Ghostbusters comic was wacky, but the art was good.
That's true. The art on that was really good, even though there were some proportional problems. They couldn't figure out how big Optimus's head was.
sounds like a usual issue with a lot of artists nowadays. They can't quite get scale right.
Well, I mean, not everybody is a creative genius that Pat Lee was, obviously.
Oh God.
At some point, I got a story to tell you about him, but not today.
Well, Matt Moylan has told me a lot of private conversations about that one. That gone into some crazy stuff that Pat Lee has done. Crazy stuff. Like I was chatting with him one while, and I was like, "Man, why?" You know, and we all loved the Dreamwave comics. Like at least the art. Even the art was bad proportions, but it was just like so much detail could have been. Like I was done out of it, once Don Figueroa came, it was like, "Oh yes. Don's
a really good artist."
Yeah, Don's an awesome artist.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the fact that Pat didn't pay anybody.
How do you not pay Simon Furman? Like, good God.
Yeah, that's true.
That is true.
Well, fellas, I've been on for 3 hours. I gotta go get something to eat and do some stuff. All right.
Yeah, I'm sure my I need to check on the fam. I know my kids are probably in bed, but you know.
Yep.
Thanks for having me on, man. I had a great time.
Same here.
Great. Leave I'm going to look up your stuff. I'm going to definitely subscribe and.
Oh, you poor soul.
Everything.
I want to thank everybody who's come on and hung stuck. We have not gone once we went over 100 people watching. We have not went below that.
That's awesome.
And I want to thank all of you for showing up, talking, chatting, having a good time. You know, you can completely disagree with all three of our opinions, but hey, you know what?
It's all right. Cool. We'll be okay.
Yeah, maybe next time we'll have Mike on. It'll be cool, or maybe Brian too.
Yeah, Brian's a good dude.
You know, thank you very much, Saichin, for becoming a member. Thank you guys so much for subscribing, supporting. Check out these guys' channels, including Brian, and check out the podcast for Mike. Thank you guys so much. And have a good night. And as always, guys, until next time, till all are one.
Good night, folks.